with a minute 17 to play in the half. The Bears turned away the Packers who had the ball before the break, and coming out, first drive of the second half, Love to Wicks, 12 yards for a 9-play, 75-yard drive and a lead they would not give up. They added, the Bears added another field goal by Santos, made it 14-9, but they answered with Carlson's 25-yard field goal with 11 minutes to go in the game. And then the Bears just couldn't get enough started. They moved the ball a bit, but not enough. They had a great throw to Cole Kmet and a great run to escape pressure by Justin Fields that set the Bears up for a possible. They threw it into the end zone. Tunyon made a crack at it, but that's as close as they came to a touchdown today.
Yeah, and even that throw, Jeff, no disrespect to anybody, it was a desperation throw. You're trying to throw it into the corner of an end zone where the momentum has already taken the receiver out of bounds. Luckily, the Bears won 2 replays that could have been controversial. They could have gone both ways. And if you didn't get the first down to DJ Moore, you don't know how that series would have ended. And then if they would have got the touchdown on the catch for Green Bay, it could have been a different story, even more points. So I just don't think right now the identity of the Bears offense still escapes me. I don't know what you can develop that can go into a hostile environment for 9 games or 8 games a year, and you guarantee that you can bring something to that stadium that is can go toe to toe with your opponent. And I don't like I'm sorry to use all the boxing analogies, but you kind of got them in my head, and that's all I'm thinking about right now.
Some stat work by the one and only Doug Coletti, the third most receptions by a tight end in a season by a Bear. Cole Kmet today, 3 for 41, left the game with I think it was a forearm. 17 games and 73 catches for Cole Kmet. He definitely made a big jump this year again as a playmaker and as a leader. Mike Ditka had 75 in a 14-game season, and Martellus Bennett with 90 catches in 16 games leading the way. 8 most receptions by a Bear for DJ Moore, one behind Marty Booker's 2002 season. That happened with 96 catches for DJ, and the 4th most receiving yards by a Bear with 1,364. Marcus Robinson ahead of him in 1999 with that 1,400-yard season. So we know DJ Moore had a Pro Bowl season, did not get named to the Pro Bowl. Cairo Santos could have been a Pro Bowl kicker as well. He finished with a big 3 kicks today, got himself a $500,000 signing or a bonus. So
good for him.
By finishing over 90%. Montez Sweat finishes with 12.5 sacks, 54 tackles, 36 solo with the 2 teams. Tied a career high in tackles for loss with 14. Did he wind up leading Washington in sacks? That's what I want to know, because if he did, that's the first time ever leading both 2 teams in sacks. Those are some of the highlights. And now the heavy work begins, the heavy lifting. Whatever they decide to do at Hallis Hall over the course of this week, we'll find out. And then it's time to roll up the sleeves. General Manager Ryan Poles knows he's got a lot of work to do, but feels this team is close, and some key additions on both sides of the ball, and then addressing that quarterback decision in terms of that first-round pick and how that will be worked and how that will be massaged over the course of the next 4 months before the draft.
Well, Ryan Poles is like standing with an empty plate at the front of a smorgasbord, because you have a lot of things that you can pick and choose from. You have a lot of things that you can trade to upgrade for better components. And I think when Ryan Poles, he does his due diligence, he does a great job, like I said, of getting a hands-on and an eyes-on approach to studying what can best help this football team. I have a lot of faith that Ryan Poles can get the job done. So it's going to be interesting, and I don't think there's going to be a team that's going to be more talked about throughout the offseason than the Chicago Bears.
They certainly will not. TJ Edwards led the way with 10 tackles today. Edmonds with 9 tackles for loss for Brisker, Sweat, and Walker with the only sack. Pass breakups by Stevenson, Eddie Jackson, and Terrell Smith. Forced fumble for Stevenson, and the recovery by Brisker defensively. But the story is the Packers again with a brand-new quarterback starting in his first season. Jordan Love, over 30 touchdowns and 4,000 yards, had himself a heck of a season. Matt LaFleur is still not lost to the Bears, 10-0. And that wraps us up here from Lambeau Field as the Bears lose 17-9 to the Green Bay Packers. We're going to turn it over to Peggy Kaczynski and John Jurkovic as we get you set to go Also, Montez Sweat did lead both teams in sacks this year, the Bears and Washington. And Peggy and Jurko, the Bears had more yards and more first downs than opponents, but not enough points to get the job done. Certainly not today. Take it away.
All right, JJ and Tom, thank you very much. The Bears end the season the way it started, with a loss to the Packers, 10 straight now for Green Bay, setting their own franchise record against the Bears. The Pack earn a wild card berth, and the Bears take a short flight home as they start their evaluation process on Matt Eberflus, Luke Getsy, and Justin Fields. 312-332-3776. This is the Great Clips postgame show. When we come back, we will open up the phone lines. We'll head back to Lambeau Field, check in with the head coach and QB1. You're listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Want to live life at max volume? Then look no further than Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. With over 1,700 slots, 80 table games, live entertainment, and 5 restaurants which span a wide range of culinary genres, we are sure to have something for everyone. Whether you want to indulge in a savory dish at Council Oak Steaks and Seafood, or take in dinner and live music at the world-renowned Hard Rock Cafe, amplify your entertainment experience at Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. Just off Exit 6, I-8094. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
At Great Clips, we know you live a full life, which is why we're full of ways to make getting a great haircut easier. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so you can get the look you love from the skilled stylists at any Great Clip salon. Plus, with convenient online check-in and everyday great prices, you save time and money too. So even when you're not thinking about your next haircut, we are. And when you choose Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Download our app today.
Bears football and Miller Lite, Chicago's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Battles on Sundays. Bliss on Mondays. Going deep dish. Going tavern style. Bearing down, then raising one up. You never forget the way some things taste. Bears football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of BMW performance without a single piston or cylinder. A generation of all-electric vehicles designed and built like no other. The BMW iX, i7, and i4 revolutionize every drive into a thrilling opportunity to feel the pure rush of BMW 100% electric. But isn't that what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine? Take advantage of exceptional lease and finance offers today.
Hey, football fans, holiday lights may be gone, but what's that dashboard light? An illuminated check engine light may indicate an issue with one of your vehicle's operating systems. It could be a minor problem, or it may be a serious condition. AAMCO's check engine light check can isolate the problem before it gets worse. And for a limited time, it's free. If holiday bills left you tight for cash, AAMCO offers up to 12 months no interest payments. Their technicians will diagnose and fix your vehicle right. Search AAMCO for a location near you. That's AAMCO, AAMCO. Transmissions and a whole lot more.
I'm Chicago personal injury lawyer Jim Morisi, the managing partner of Morisi Longo & Associates. If you've been seriously hurt at work, in a car accident, or on a construction site, you know the insurance companies are not on your side. Our trial lawyers will level the playing field and put you in control. Consultations are always free. Google Morisi Longo & Associates, MORICILONGO.com, or call 312-372-9600. We're here when you need us.
Steinhaffel's New Year's sale starts now. Get some of our best prices of the year. Save up to $800 on sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses, and much more. Plus, you'll find amazing bonus buys throughout the store. And take an extra 10% off our already low clearance center prices. Use Steinhaffel's 60-month special financing to make your new room even more affordable. The New Year's sale at Steinhaffel's. Shop in store or online at steinhaffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhaffel's.
Take it from me. You only get one life. Which parts of it do you want to live greater? In Peoria, you can have a greater work-life balance, greater family time, or greater opportunities to make a difference in your career or community. Peoria is a great place to live, work, and play. With a mix of outdoor adventure, cultural experiences, and family-friendly attractions. Go to choosegreaterpeoria.org to learn more.
the new home of the Chicago Bears.
Great tackles, and he's off to the races. 61-yard touchdown run by Justin Fields.
ESPN Chicago.
Here comes the Welcome to the Great Clips postgame show on the Bears Radio Network. Brought to you by Great Clips is gonna be great by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, and by Miller Lite. And now, the Great Clips postgame show on the Bears Radio Network.
Here are your hosts, Peggy Kaczynski and John Jurkovich.
The shingle outside Ryan Pohl's office at 1920 Football Drive says, open for business. And Jurko, there's a lot of business to be done starting immediately with the Chicago Bears as they finish the season now 7-10, still without a win against Green Bay in Matt Eberflus's 2 years coaching the Bears. Justin Fields has not beaten the Packers. And if this was supposed to be a matchup of what was to be two young quarterbacks, two young teams that are headed in the right direction, it didn't look like the Bears got barely off the bus.
Yeah, it never felt close, unfortunately, today, even though it was 17-9. Moving the ball from the 30 to the 30, the Bears were pretty effective in doing that in that little 40-yard area. But once it got down to absolutely must find a way to execute time, the Chicago Bears were not capable. They gave up their first 100-yard rusher defensively. There were some big gashes in there. A couple of times it looked like guys that were coming free were lost. And it cost them some yardage. There were some big completions. They did force a fumble.
Yes, they did.
Force a fumble. The only turnover in the game, I believe. They forced that fumble. So that was nice. It got them a possession. It got it to 14-9. And then the Packers came right down, kicked the field goal, made it 17-9. They also missed the field goal. They also let the clock run out at the end of the first half. So it never really felt as close as the game actually ended up being. Like it was a one-score game if the Bears could have done something. The Bears never looked dangerous enough today.
No.
They never looked dangerous enough today. And once Nate Davis went out of the game, everybody kind of took a turn crapping the bed. And, even the guy on the right side, Darnell Wright, he did that. Nate Davis was gone, and he got beat earlier on a three-man game with the guys in the middle. Tevin Jenkins got beat for 2 sacks. And on that three-man game, he was also victimized by the penetrator on that or the looper on that. But it seemed to me like he's the only guy that even hit a guy on that specific play. Identifying people that are blitzing, knowing who you're supposed to pick up and not pick up was somewhat difficult for the Chicago Bears. So even though they lost by 8, it was not. Improvements need to be made. Braxton Jones was exposed today. Okay, Braxton Jones was exposed today. And if you listen to the game, it was Brendan Jones, according to Tony Romo. And I don't know who Coach Getsky is.
Getsky.
Yeah, Coach Getsky. He's giving him the Polish version
Brendan
of who he
Jones,
is. Yeah, all types of silliness today. But
that's what you get with the top team.
Top team. But you know that the left tackle was substandard. The center was substandard. Whitehair, thank you for a great career here in the city of Chicago. It's time to go. I think the only thing you got right now is your right guy, right tackle, and your left guard. And your left guard had a tough day today. But we've seen him dominate over the course of the year. So if you're going to have a tough day, it's a bad time to have it. But guess what? You had it. Now you got the offense, the offseason to think about that damn thing as you. So, And then we lost Jalen Johnson before the game. That doesn't help things. And then you end up losing his backup number 32. And now you're really starting to do stuff in your defensive secondary. If the question was asked again today, as it was last week to all the talent here at ESPN 1000, you guys that are here during the week, Jordan Love or Justin Fields.
Well, I don't.
The proof is in the pudding today.
Yeah.
And with the stats, even you wouldn't have to say that. But he didn't solidify his position, Justin Fields, today. And it's all right. You got an offseason now where decisions have to get made, and the guys that are getting paid the gazillions of dollars are the ones that are going to be making it, and we will be speculating about it the rest of the way forward.
This was supposed to be the biggest game of the season. The hype leading up to it on paper looked like it was going to be a great game. Here was an opportunity for the Bears in a primetime slot to convince the rest of the country that not only are they up and comers, but that Justin Fields deserve the franchise quarterback tag with the Chicago Bears. And it fell far, far short from that.
Well, he might still get the franchise tag. It looked like a spirited adventure, that's for sure. It was a spirited game. I thought it was a spirited adventure.
There were emotions a couple times. Sure.
Listen, field goals get missed all the time. I'm glad they missed the field goal. I thought things were running right when the Bears go for their first field goal, and it careens inside. It hits the field goal post and goes good. I go, this got to be something good.
A single doink.
Yeah, a single doink. I go, this has got to be good tidings on the anniversary of the double doink, I believe.
Anniversary in the day, yep.
All right, so I'm thinking good tidings for the Bears, good tidings for the Bears. Good luck. You're going to reverse whatever that was. Let's propel ourselves forward. Let's go ahead, but you can't score touchdowns. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 3 is 9. The Bears finish with 9. They'd have scored 21. They might have had a chance.
Really hard to score when the Bears had 192 total yards. The Packers 432. Let's go back to the offensive line, as you were just talking about. Lucas Patrick was out today, so they had Dan Feeney playing center, and then Nate Davis left at right guard, and they brought Cody Whitehair in. But erase those three guys right there. There was trouble from the very beginning with the offensive line, and talk going into this game was this is a different Chicago Bears team than the Packers saw in week 1. Darnell Wright was starting his first game as a rookie in week 1. Tevin Jenkins wasn't there. Those two guys may have had their worst games for the last game of the season.
Yeah, I mean, they struggled. They went up against formidable defensive line. Now, if you want to replicate something, you want to take a look at what you want. The pressure that Green Bay was able to bring, that's the kind of defensive line you want. I mean, those guys are creating chaos in there, in the middle, running stunts, coming with 4, coming with 5, coming with 6. Sometimes it felt like they're coming with 12, and they're only bringing 5 or 6. So, I mean, that's kind of what you want to replicate. When you see good defense being played or good D-line play being played, but they played well everywhere. They weren't like the team that didn't give up a 100-yard rusher. You know what I'm saying in quotations?
Right.
They're a defensive line that is just a formidable defensive line. They can rush the passer. They can get after you on the run. They may not be the top run defense. They may not be the top pass defense, but the combination of everything makes them a pretty damn good defense.
It was the lowest pressure rate that Jordan Love has faced this year.
Yep.
The Bears could not get any pressure on Jordan Love. They were without Jalen Johnson. They had young guys in the secondary that it was a Swiss cheese secondary. It was
every time we talked, I said Montez Sweat has been fantastic for the Chicago Bears, and he has been fantastic for the Chicago Bears. But every time somebody mentions that, I say I want Danielle Hunter on the other side. You got to be more than a one prong.
Right. You need
can't come with
bookends.
one prong, and he might be able to make everybody. I had 5.5 sacks when I played next to Reggie White. That didn't make me a pass rusher. It just meant that I played with Reggie and they were paying a whole lot of attention to him. And I had a couple of matchups that favored me, and I ended up getting to the quarterback. But nobody would ever confuse me for a pass rusher. That you've got to know. You've got to bring pass rushers in. A year of maturity will help the young defensive tackles. Okay. But at some point, you do have to become better. You have to become better. And at left end, you can become better by getting a Danielle Hunter type, drafting a young player, and bringing those guys in, edge rushers, to be able to rush the quarterback, guys with absolute skill and moves. They go into the toolbox, and they don't just see a hammer. They see a screwdriver. They see a miter saw. They might see a sander in there. A number of different moves is what we're looking for out of guys that are going to be able to come off the corner. I'm not distraught. I'm not distraught that the Bears lost.
Well,
this
coming
game.
off of last week, though.
Right, I understand, but there was no chance to go to the playoffs. I wanted to see them go up there and perform. They competed. Sometimes they competed poorly. Now we've got to make decisions. It's going to be hell Monday. I'll be here at 10 a.m. tomorrow, kicking it off on ESPN 1000 with Carmen and Jurko. We're gonna assess it. The carnage is going to happen, and the carnage is going to be going on. I don't anticipate a ton of carnage here. But I do anticipate carnage around the NFL. So that's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. Listen, I wish they played better. I do. I wish my quarterback played better. I wish my offensive line performed better. I wish we could have held that guy to under 100 yards. I wish we could have scored touchdowns today. None of that happened. Okay, so because none of that happened, I can't sit here and cry about spilled milk now. Now my mind vaults into the 2024 football season. How do I make this team better? That's where it's going to go. I'll reminisce for the next hour and a half about what the hell happened today. But after today, I'm moving to 2024. The first pick right now, the 10th, maybe the 9th. I don't even know exactly how it's going to come down. But either way, that's what you have. That's what you're looking for. It's going to be a big analysis in two areas right now. The big analysis will be the quarterback position, the wide receiver position. What can you do and how can you maximize it all? How do I get second-round picks so maybe I can address the center position? Okay, that's what I'm looking to do. And where do I find my pass rusher in the offseason? And how much is it going to cost me? And how much me am I going to have to spend in the offseason? That falls upon Ryan Poles.
And we'll talk about
Excited
what
about
Ryan
it.
Poles said earlier.
I'm excited. My plums are full. Love it.
Your plums?
It's football, yes.
Are your plumes?
No, my plums.
Your plums?
Oh, yeah. They're excited for football. Yeah, that could be. That should weird you out a little bit. That's all right, Peggy. But I'm just letting you know that I'm excited for football.
All right. Well, in this final curtain for the Bears, not a lot of standing ovations as guys will be saying their farewells, having played their final games in a Chicago Bears uniform. Not sure who all that will be, but we will get into what Ryan Poles had to say in the pregame show. That gives us a little bit of a hint into maybe how he is thinking as he starts the evaluation process on the Chicago Bears roster. 312-332-3776. You are listening to the Great Clips postgame show. This is the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Big news from Bill Jacobs Auto Group. Get ready to hit the road with total peace of mind. Every car purchased or leased from any Bill Jacobs dealerships now comes with our Bill Jacobs Total Mile Protection. New car, you're covered with a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Used car, no worries. You get a 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. Visit us today and drive away with the confidence of Total Mile Protection. Bill Jacobs Auto Group. The cars bring you in, but the experience brings you back. Roofers and Waterproofers Local 11 provides quality, value, and service in all facets of the commercial, industrial, and institutional roofing and waterproofing industry, promoting skilled craftsmen and craftswomen through apprenticeship training. Local 11 members are trained in the application of the latest roofing and waterproofing techniques. They are at the forefront of design and installation of environmental-friendly solar, green, and garden systems. To find a highly skilled roofing contractor today, go to ChicagoRoofingContractors.org.
Football fans, put someone on your team that's ready to fight for you. I'm Julio Costa of Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers. Our team combines technology and expertise to deliver a first-class client experience and get you the wins that you deserve. We're here to help fans everywhere with their injury-related needs. Winning consistently isn't easy. Let us show you what Football Tough Injury Lawyers can do for you. Call us at 708-4million or visit our website at cilaw.com for a free consult.
Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers, 708-4million.
Heart surgery is no one's dream of retirement. I'm Beverly, and that's what I was facing when my cardiology team at Northwestern Medicine identified a diseased valve in my heart. But thanks to Dr. Gang and Dr. Ahmad's expertise, I didn't have to have open heart surgery.
With access to the top heart and vascular program in Illinois by U.S. News & World Report, Beverly's team at Central DuPage Hospital replaced her diseased aortic valve using a tiny catheter, and she was back on her feet in just a few days. Northwestern Medicine. Better.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp. Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Dear football fans, Toyota's roster of all-star vehicles are ready for kickoff. Drive the field in style with a Camry or Corolla. Upgrade your ground game with the versatile RAV4. Or there's Grand Highlander and Tundra, our full-size Defenders. And here's an extra point. All these vehicles come with available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. Visit Toyota.com or head to your local Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places.
From the backyard to the big screen, pair this year's tailgate with Tito's Handmade Vodka. Fill your roster with a bottle of the good stuff and enough garnishes to last till halftime. Then snag your favorite seat on the couch with an ice-cold Tito's cocktail in hand. In our playbook, that means you're a winner before the game even starts. For game day recipes, gear, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Steinhaffel's New Year's sale starts now. Get some of our best prices of the year. Save up to $800 on sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses, and much more. Plus, you'll find amazing bonus buys throughout the store. And take an extra 10% off our already low clearance center prices. Use Steinhaffel's 60-month special financing to make your new room even more affordable. The New Year's sale at Steinhaffel's. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhaffel's.
Former Bear Lance Briggs is live in studio with Cap and J Hood tomorrow morning at 9:30 on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago. Hear more Jurko weekdays noon to 2 on ESPN Chicago.
Fields in the gun, takes the snap. Pressure coming from Preston Smith. He evades, slips the tackle, gets square, throws downfield, commits the catch, and took the hit down to the 16, making the 18, 17-yard line. Wow. What a catch by Cole Kmet. Holy smokes. He hangs out of the ball and took the hit. He knew he was going to get squared up. And Fields stepped out of the Preston Smith tackle. First down, Bears, and they're in the red zone.
Cole Kmet finishes a career season for him with 41 yards receiving today. That 27-yard reception was his long. The Bears did have a couple of chunk plays, but just not enough. DJ Moore with 64 yards receiving on 4 of his 6 targets. EQ St. Brown had 1 reception. Khalil Herbert had a couple for 13 yards. Tyler Scott had 1. Without having Darnell Mooney in there, they were definitely struggling in finding they need a wide receiver. Speaking of that, some interesting comments from the Bears general manager in the pregame show with Jeff Joniak, talking about the evaluation process of the coaching staff, the players. It will all begin right away, actually. So before we get into that, let's head back to Lambeau Field, where Jeff Joniak is standing by with head coach Matt Eberflus.
All right, thanks, Peggy. Matt, to break it down for us, I know some of the things we talk about before the game really played into this finish today against the Green Bay Packers. Let's start with your perspective on how it all unfolded today.
Yeah, so the first half, you start out and it was a tight contest to start there, and I really think that when I looked at the halftime stats, I said, we really got to do a better job of running the ball, on offense. I thought we needed to establish more of a run game there. And then really defensively, really had to do a better job of stopping them on third down, and then that's really the biggest thing that I saw there. And then going into the second half, we know that how we have to finish, and you'll go back and forth a little bit in the third quarter, and then we have a chance to, the game is where it is in the fourth quarter. And we have a chance, with an 8-point game to be able to go down there and tie it up, to give us an opportunity. And we always talk about the fourth quarter finish. And we got to the one play that Justin had 4th and 5, got him to jump off sides, in the fourth quarter there. And then we got the first down, then they end up yanking Justin out medically. And it went to 2nd and 6, and we had the holding. You can't have penalties, on those drives. And that was a huge penalty, 2nd and 16. And then we took a negative play sack, so it was 3rd and 22. And we had to punt the ball away there. And then defensively, we had to get the ball back for offense. You got to spit it back to them. And they got the first downs they needed to get on that last drive. We had them on 3rd and 2 down there on our minus field, and then we end up, giving up the other third down there too. And that's about the 4-minute defense that we got to do a better job there to spit it back. So, overall, it's lost by 8. We had a chance to get it done at the end, and again, we didn't execute the fourth quarter there. But I'm most proud about the guys, for, the 5-3 finish, last 8 games, to me, that's, those guys hanging in there together, and they really, the camaraderie and the atmosphere that they created this year, through all the adversities, and it's such a strong group, and they're never going to forget this year.
What did you think of the Packers offensive plan today and what Jordan Love did?
Yeah, Yeah, I thought he executed well. You know, he really did. And again, we got to do a better job with our coverages. And, you know, we've been really well in terms of our coverages, you know, in terms of picking off the pass. And obviously we lead the league in that category. We know we only got one, you know, the one caused fumble today. We had another chance at the end of the half. Smitty had one up there. He's just got to come down with it. But those takeaways are big, and we got to get more of those than we had today.
You know, Matt, DeMarcus Walker said after the game that you've developed a great chemistry in this locker room. Will you get an opportunity to watch the tape with these guys to, you know, continue the process of what you need to talk about? And, you know, sometimes you can have some strict evaluation observances after a game like this.
Yeah, I think it's important to do that, right? To finish out the year the right way. So we'll all watch the tape, you know, really starting the exit process with the interviews tomorrow with Ryan and I, and we'll start at 7 a.m. We'll go all the way to 4, and we'll meet with every player for 10 minutes. And during that time, I'll be able to give them some feedback, and they're always going to get feedback from their coaches. They'll get their grade, their production points, what they need to improve on from this game to finish out the year as well.
Yeah, DeMarcus Walker also talked about you always talking about the positives throughout the season up until this point. You know, sometimes after the season's over, you got to have some strong talking points to these guys, and even if they can be a negative. Are you okay with that in terms of telling guys what you expect out of them to improve either for their position specifically or what they need to work on to improve their skills?
Oh yeah, no, there's no question about that. There's a standard how we play, and the fundamentals and techniques matter. We're always coaching the guys up on that, and we're always paying attention to detail with those things, and that's why we improved. That's why we got better, and the guys are on those details, and you know that's always at the end of this. Each game and at the end of the year, you got to do that. And we'll get with the guys and we'll talk about each, 2 or 3 things they need to improve on in the off season, with relative to their physical skill too, in terms of their agility, their movement skill, their strength. And we'll get a chance to meet with those guys as well.
Can you go back to when Justin, was that the independent observer recommending that he leave for a concussion check? How did that all?
Yeah. So
what was the story there?
Yeah. So the NFL, that's their process, right? And it's in there for a good reason. And the spotter saw something, and albeit it was a couple of plays afterward, and they pulled the player, and then he goes into the tent. He's in there with an independent doctor, our trainer and our doctor, and then the independent doctor looks at him and then clears him. And that's what happened. So he cleared him to come back in. He came back in the very next play, and that's the process.
What was your impression of the line of scrimmage play on both sides today?
Yeah, I think we need to change the line of scrimmage better. We really do. We got to make sure that we're changing the line of scrimmage. When we play well up front on both sides, the line of scrimmage is being changed, and we need to do a better job of that for sure.
All right. In terms of just now the overall, put a bow on it, and where do you see this thing going?
Yeah, like I told the players, there's 2 sides of this, and we just lost the game, right? So there's that side of it, but the other side of it is that what we accomplished during the course of the year. The last 11 games were 6-5, the last 8 games were 5-3. And a really good finish to the season. I wish we would have got this one, of course. But the guys did an awesome job of really laying the foundation in the second year to be able to get this thing moving on the rise. And that's what they did. And I really want to credit the players, because you think about it, we have, I think it's, these numbers might be off by a couple, but it's 21 or low 20s that the guys that we either drafted, we signed as free agents that are on the team, college free agents. And then we've also acquired about that same number, in terms of free agents and guys that we've signed or traded for, and then the guys that were here before, what is it? It's about, I think it's like 11 guys or so, 2 of them being specialists, Cairo, and then obviously Scales. But, to bring that group together, those men coming together with 3 different groups like that to form a football team that really finished strong in this year is really a credit to them.
And you got to, focus on division first always. You got to win the division. And so the 3 teams in the division this year, you won 1 from each of them, but still the Packers appear to be the tough out until that happens, right? I mean, until that process begins where you control the division with those division wins and finding a way. Isn't that important right now?
Yeah, that is everything. Obviously, that's our number 1 goal, is to win the division. And we got a lot of work ahead of us in the offseason for sure. Obviously the first thing we're going to do is these exit interviews, and those are so important because we improve so much of our program, in terms of the strength and conditioning, the trainers, the food, the whole operation that we have in the building by just listening to the feedback of the players. And Ryan and I will meet with those guys from 7 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. We go 10 minutes for each player. And that's invaluable to us to get the feedback on everything from the player's point of view.
All right, Matt, we'll let you go. Appreciate all your time this season, and good luck this week. And we will talk to you down the road.
All right, you got it. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Bears head coach Matt Eberflus. Peggy, Jurko, take it away.
All right, Jeff Joniak, thank you very much. And Tom Thayer at Lambeau Field. In reference to what Coach Eberflus was just talking about, the Bears opened this season featuring 10 starters that were not on last year's roster. 3 of them were on offense, 7 on defense. They opened the season with 11 players that were on the active roster before Poles was hired. So just 11 players were carryovers when Poles was hired, and that's how they opened the season this year. Your evaluation, Jurko, of Matt Eberflus now that the season is over, a 7-10 season, and once again, not a winning season in Chicago.
Right. I mean, they started 2-7, put themselves behind the 8 ball, 0-4 to start the whole thing off. Probably the best thing he did was keep these guys all together and still trying to pull on the same side of the rope and head into the right direction. I don't have a problem with Matt Eberflus, none whatsoever. He pulled them together. Second half of the year, they came back and they finished 5-3. They played some really solid football. You've got to decide what you want to do at the most important position on the field.
10.
And I don't know if that's going to be a combination of Eberflus and Poles and the guy up top, but I have no problems bringing Eberflus back as you head forward in this situation. This defense became a better defense throughout this campaign and throughout this year.
The Bears finish 10-24 under Matt Eberflus in 2 seasons as head coach. Let's head back to Lambeau Field. Jason McKee standing by with QB1 Justin Fields.
Here with Bears quarterback Justin Fields. Justin, 3 field goals today. You got a solid defense. What led to the struggles offensively today?
I think you answered it. Just not scoring touchdowns when we got in the red zone. We emphasize that a lot, and 3 field goals isn't going to win you the game.
Coach Flus has been able to keep this locker room together. He's been able to uphold the chemistry in this locker room. Talk about what it's like playing for Coach Flus.
Coach Flus, he's our leader. Through good and bad times, he's always been the same. Always had hope for us, and was kind of the leader of just the togetherness and our closeness and stuff like that. So he's a great person and a great coach, and he did his thing this year with leading us and keeping us together as a team.
The big thing going into this season was the development of yourself, and how would you grade your performance overall this season in terms of the development?
I think I developed really well. I think my perspective on the game changed, just, different situations and stuff like that. I really learned a lot this year. So I don't really have a letter grade, but I just think, I grew a lot this year.
Last game of the season, I know you don't like to talk about the future, but what is the message that you would give Bears fans in the city of Chicago? How do you like playing for the city of Chicago, and what message would you give Bears fans?
Whatever happens. I love y'all. I've always had my back, from the moment I got drafted. So, nothing but love for the city of Chicago, the fans, and, the fan base. So all love from this way.
All right, thanks for your time. Back to you guys up in the booth.
All right, J-Mac, thank you very much. Justin Fields finishes with 148 yards passing today, no touchdowns, no turnovers. He was sacked 5 times, leaves with a 97.9 passer rating, and finishes as 8-20 as a starter with the Chicago Bears. Good enough, Jurko?
Well, it depends what you like. Depends what you see coming up. I said the analysis for the quarterbacks that are coming out. You've got to do that. It's hard for me to sit there and just tell you off television copy what I think of Penix, Drake May, Jaden Daniels out of LSU, and Caleb Williams. That's a 30-day analysis of the 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks that are coming out in this year's draft, trying to figure out who's going to be the best. And the same thing at the receiver position. They've got 7, 8 guys with first-round grades on them. So that's another set of eyes and a bunch of eyes sitting there looking at wide receivers that you're going to have to pick and what you're going to have to take a look at. And then you've got to decide what route you're going to go. You don't have to make any commitments anywhere. The fifth-year option that one needs is May 2nd.
Right.
Okay, that's not today or tomorrow. That's May 2nd. You've got a long time to make a decision on whether you're going to pick up a fifth-year option on your quarterback. So next year he'll have a $6 million deal, and the year after that, it would be like $20.5 million. So that's 26 over 2 years, $13 million. There is a lot to be said for whether the players believe in him or not, whether those guys believe in him or not. There's a lot to be said for that. But at the end of the day, you've got to be able to put the ball into the end zone. So, the Bears, last week I felt like the Bears were in a good situation. This week I feel a little bit less. You went up against good defense. You didn't perform. So,
in a playoff type of atmosphere, even though without a chance to go to the playoffs, the Bears did not follow through. They may have until May in order to decide on his fifth-year option, but February 27th is the NFL Combine. The draft is March 28th, and March 10th last year was when Ryan Poles traded the number 1 pick. So really it's this spring where they're going to have to make some decisions as the phone calls start coming in from other general managers across the league.
And those phone calls are coming in for the pick and for maybe your quarterback.
Exactly.
Fields.
Exactly.
So
they will likely have multiple plans.
I don't tip my hand on anything that I plan on doing. Everything is up and everything's available, and we're looking at all positions. And like I said, I didn't think left tackle was going to be an issue, but boy, left tackle's an issue.
You may not be tipping your hand, but did Ryan Poles tip his hand, and did Kevin Warren tip his hand on the way they are thinking towards the future of their head coach? We'll talk about that when we come back. You are listening to the ESPN Chicago postgame show. It's the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of BMW performance without a single piston or cylinder. A generation of all-electric vehicles designed and built like no other. The BMW iX, i7, and i4 revolutionize every drive into a thrilling opportunity to feel the pure rush of BMW 100% electric. But isn't that what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine? Take advantage of exceptional lease and finance offers today.
Don't miss out on the best gaming in Chicagoland. Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, where we're sure to have the action you crave. The choice is yours with a world-class selection of over 1,700 slots and 80 table games. Enjoy some of your favorite games like blackjack, roulette, craps, and baccarat. A roll of the dice or a spin of the reels, and you could be a winner. Live life at max volume at Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, just off Exit 6, I-80-94. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Bring family or office teams together with the unbeatable flavors of Bona Catering. Bona has 28 locations in the area, ready to bring a taste of celebration right to your doorstep. Choose from delivery or easy pickup options. Choose from customizable buffets and boxed lunches to create the perfect party spread. And of course, no gathering is truly complete without Chicago's original Italian beef from Bona. Make your events memorable with Bona Catering. Don't wait. Pre-order your catering now at bona.com/catering.
From the backyard to the big screen, pair this year's tailgate with Tito's Handmade Vodka. Fill your roster with a bottle of the good stuff and enough garnishes to last till halftime. Then snag your favorite seat on the couch with an ice-cold Tito's cocktail in hand. In our playbook, that means you're a winner before the game even starts. For game day recipes, gear, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hey, Chicago fans, I'm Julio Costa of Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers. We know injuries are part of the game, and if you've been in an accident, part of your life too. When the insurance companies are trying to score against you, we're there to intercept. Football fans, we are ready to fight for you. With over $100 million in recoveries for our injured clients, we know how to tackle the competition. Let us show you what Football Tough Injury Lawyers can do for you. Call us at 708-4million or visit our website at cilaw.com for a free consult.
Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers, 708-4million.
Our patient Mike had blood clots deep in his lungs that were putting his heart under major duress.
Using a minimally invasive procedure pioneered by our team, we were able to clear them.
Top ranked in Illinois for heart and vascular by U.S. News and World Report, Northwestern Memorial Hospital used tiny balloons to widen the vessels in his lungs, the first in Illinois to master this breakthrough method.
As Mike's nurse, I'm proud to have helped him breathe freely again.
Northwestern Medicine, better.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo, when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful VC turbo engine, well, we had time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue.
Steinhaffel's New Year's sale starts now. Get some of our best prices of the year. Save up to $800 on sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses, and much more. Plus, you'll find amazing bonus buys throughout the store. And take an extra 10% off our already low clearance center prices. Use Steinhaffel's 60-month special financing to make your new room even more affordable. The New Year's sale at Steinhaffel's. Shop in store or online at steinhaffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhaffel's.
Personal foul, leaky store brands.
When all else fails, try North Shore adult diapers for even the heaviest control problems. Visit northshore.com.
Hear more Jurko.
Weekdays noon to 2.
ESPN Chicago.
Bears need 4 on third down, empty spread. Here comes pressure from Clark. They find more, left at the 40. First down and more. 30 more, spun down inside the 20, and the Bears are in the Packers' red zone.
Welcome back to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears radio network. Just a little reminder that the interview that Jason McKee does with QB1 Justin Fields is always brought to you by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. See Flo Rida on January 19th at Hard Rock Live. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Welcome back into the postgame show. Jurko, I wanted to, don't know if you caught when Tracy Wolfson did her report after halftime. And on the network television broadcast, she was talking about her interview, or her conversation at least, with Bears team president Kevin Warren, and how he told her he values continuity, much like Dick Vermeil when he was with the Rams, and how it took Vermeil until his third season until he started to win. It made you think that maybe the decision on head coach Matt Eberflus has already been made, especially when you listen to what Ryan Poles said on the pregame show about Eberflus and how he handled the ups and downs of the season.
You can go back to the original press conference and things that I was looking for. One is leadership and the mental toughness and the steady hand to really captain the ship when the seas are rough. And they got rough at certain times. Certainly last year, early this year, there was some sudden change, and he was steady at the wheel. He fought, to get back above water and get things the way they were. His ability to adapt and adjust, really take input from the players to get this thing on the right path was incredible. Where I think a lot of people would have been in really bad shape and crumbled to the pressure. He got better with the pressure, and so did our football team.
So it sounds like they were giving Matt Eberflus the opportunity to right the ship, to correct the wrongs, whether or not they were self-inflicted or not. Will they do the same, you think, with Luke Getsy?
Well, that's the question. If you keep Fields, you keep Getsy. That's my theory. So I think those two are tied to the hip. I said that last week. It's what I believe. If you're going to keep them, you keep the both of them together. They will sink or swim together. So if you're going to get rid of Fields, I think you get rid of Luke Getsy and you get a fresh offense in here.
Well, and then take away that May decision on Justin Fields. If they need to make a decision this week on coaches, who is going to stay, who they're letting go, if Luke Getsy is let go this week, that seems to put up a yellow flag.
It could be an indicator, but that's my belief.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that's the Bears' belief. That's what I believe. They're joined at the hip. So that's what I believe. Me. If I'm going to get rid of one, I'm getting rid of both. That's what I'm going to do. So that's if I'm running what's happening here, I've been on record saying I'm keeping both of them already. So nobody's leaving for me. Fields is staying and Getsy is staying. And we charge in the next year. At least that's the impression I'm going to give the world. I'm going to give the world the impression that both are staying. That first thing is for that first pick is for sale. And if somebody comes and blows me out of the water because they want Justin Fields to be their quarterback, a.k.a. Atlanta Falcons, if they say, wait, we'll take him. He's ours. I don't know what you guys plan on doing, but we love the kid, and we're going to do this, this, and this. You got to keep your ears open. If I'm in the Bears, I stand pat, and I keep my ears open for what's happening out there. Now, I'm not a fool. Frank Reich's available. Frank Reich is Eberflus's guy. I get it. I understand it. Maybe Frank Reich knows something about Justin Fields that he thinks he can get the best out of Justin Fields. I don't know. But I understand there's friendships and there's experience offensive coordinators and former head coaches have had with Eberflus, and that might be something that sways the decision one way or the other.
Well, Arthur Smith might be available.
Yeah.
in Atlanta.
Oh, boy. Yeah, well, he's crying today after getting his ass kicked. Don't go over to Dennis Allen and cry. Dennis Allen doesn't care.
He's just scoring points. He doesn't care about you guys.
Right.
312-332-3776. When we come back, we do open up the phone lines to take your phone calls as the Bears season is finished. They finished with a 7-10 record as they now head back to Lake Forest for their exit interviews tomorrow morning. As Matt Eberflus said, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Each player gets a 10-minute exit interview with Eberflus and Ryan Poles, and then the decisions after that will be made for those above the players. Up next, your phone calls. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for a station identification. This is the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Chicago, you are listening to the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago, WMVP, WSHE, HD2, Chicago.
Steinhaffel's New Year's sale starts now. Get some of our best prices of the year. Save up to $800 on sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses, and much more. Plus, you'll find amazing bonus buys throughout the store. And take an extra 10% off our already low clearance center prices. Use Steinhaffel's 60-month special financing to make your new room even more affordable. The New Year's sale at Steinhaffel's. Shop in store or online at steinhaffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhaffel's.
If you've been seriously injured at work, in a car accident, or on a construction site, you may not know where to turn. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer and the managing partner of Morisi, Longo & Associates. We are the ones you need to call when you've been injured, the ones who gather the evidence and deal with the insurance companies. So here's the information to keep by your side. Our number is 312-372-9600, and our website is moricilongo.com, moricilongo.com.
Dear football fans, Toyota's roster of all-star vehicles are ready for kickoff. Drive the field in style with a Camry or Corolla. Upgrade your ground game with the versatile RAV4. Or there's Grand Highlander and Tundra, our full-size Defenders. And here's an extra point. All these vehicles come with available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. Visit Toyota.com or head to your local Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places.
Imagine having your skull detached from your spine to save you from paralysis. When Phil came to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, his spine was digging into his brainstem, but our team developed a plan to rebuild his spine.
Anchored by the top neurology and neurosurgery program in Illinois by U.S. News and World Report, Northwestern Medicine is pioneering treatments for the toughest conditions. Incredibly, Phil was walking just days after surgery.
As Phil's nurse, I'm proud to be on a team that's changing lives.
Northwestern Medicine, better.
Bears football and Miller Lite, Chicago's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Battles on Sundays. Bliss on Mondays. Going deep dish. Going tavern style. Bearing down, then raising one up. You never forget the way some things taste. Bears football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Excellence. It means going the extra mile. You know that Volvo cars speak to excellence. And at Howard Orloff Volvo Cars, going the extra mile starts and ends with their culture of care and thoughtfulness. Guys, it's Carmen, and I've seen firsthand how Orloff Volvo goes the extra mile every day for everyone. And the Orloff name attached to the Volvo name is perfect, and they're known for safety and reliability. Powered Orloff Volvo cars just off the Kennedy at Armitage in Chicago. Volvo for life.
Okay, so greaterness isn't technically a word, but in Peoria, Illinois, it might as well be. You see, they're all about greater here. Greater jobs, greater work-life balance, greater opportunities to grow your career. That's a whole lot of greaterness. With hundreds of open positions in a variety of fields, from healthcare to manufacturing to education, even the job prospects are greater. Visit choosegreaterpeoria.org to elevate your career.
Hey, football fans of Chicago. Football season means it's time to start thinking about the roof on your business. Is it time to winterize? Make the right call. A game plan that includes the highly trained craftsmen and craftswomen of Roofers and Waterproofers Local 11 to get the job done right. To find professionally trained roofing and waterproofing contractors who are dedicated to providing quality, value, and service, go to ChicagoRoofingContractors.org. For business roofing and waterproofing, it's ChicagoRoofingContractors.org.
Hey, football fans, don't get sacked by unexpected vehicle repairs. Amco Transmissions has easy pay plans for most credit needs. Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
Peggy and Jurko, post-game on ESPN Chicago.
Jordan Love takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Love motioning right, going to keep, and he's going to run through it. Defensive ball comes out and recovered by Brisker. In Bears territory, it was popped out of there. Jordan Love on the turnover with 1:17 to go in the third quarter. 14-6 Green Bay, and the Bears have the football.
Unfortunately, the Bears go on to lose this game. They finished the season 7-10, another double-digit losing record for the Bears as they head into the offseason. And Jurko joining us as always after every postgame show. We laughed about the exit interviews because Matt Eberflus said, every guy has his, what did he say, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever
10
it is.
minutes. Everybody gets 10 minutes.
10 minutes, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So they go through the whole roster. Is there actual evaluation going on?
Some are a lot simpler than others. When DJ Moore comes in, hey, fantastic year, wonderful job, great impact. We're going to try to make life a little bit easier for everybody next year. Hey, this is, where you heading? What are you doing? Oh, I'll be gone from this time. I'll be coming back at this time. The offseason program starts here with all the weight workouts and stuff. For DJ Moore, it's simple. For Cody Whitehair, hell of a run. Tremendous. Thanks for all your efforts for the Chicago Bears. One hell of a veteran. Been here a long time. Great NFL career. Have a good life. I mean, that's as simple as that is, right?
So if you're Eddie Jackson, who sent out a well wishes and a thank you to all the fans and how much he wants to be returned to Chicago, even though he is under contract next year, but he could be a cap casualty.
Eddie will get one of these. Eddie, listen, we're going to talk to your agent. We're going to communicate with your agent. We're going to talk to him. We don't know what level we'd like to have you here at. But we'll certainly communicate with your guy. We'll make him, we'll make him an offer. We'll let him know that, what we're looking to do. And Eddie's fine. I'll hit free agency and I'm going to go do what I want to do.
All right.
So Eddie might be more than happy to go, hey, I'm going to finally become a free agent. I'm going to go out and try to cash out Brisker and Gordon, guys, you're young players. You're going to become leaders next year. We really need you to take the leadership role. Take it by the shorties and then get out there and really let's develop this defense into a top defense.
Yeah.
Then the young kids in the middle, Pickens and Dexter. Pickens and Dexter will be like, listen, guys, we got to take the next step. You got a year to figure it out. Now we got to come back and we got to take the next step. I mean, it's easy pretty much along the line. Everybody kind of can figure out what the hell's going on. Lucas Patrick, thank you very much for everything. It's time for you to go. Simple. It's easy. Patrick Scales, still a long snapper. You're welcome back more. Here's the contract. Sign on the bottom line. We'll welcome you back next year. Who's Patrick Scales? Nobody knows. Why? Because he does his job.
Right.
That's it. Long snapper. Gets the ball where it needs to be every single time. Great guy. Fantastic.
312-332-3776. Out to the phone lines. We now open them up. And we start in New York, where we find Joe up first on the postgame show. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Oh, Joe on the south side. Okay,
There we
Joe.
go.
Hi,
Joe on the
Joe.
south side. What's
Right,
up?
right. Joe on the south side. Peggy, it's always good to hear you. Jurko, we always love you.
Thank you.
All right. So anyway, what do we say about this truly? You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's the same thing we've been looking at for the last 20-some years. It's hard to understand. We go in, I'm not even saying anything about the offense. It's the same thing. It's the defense. What did we do? We came in today, we had a 4-man rush, 90% of the game. It's the same thing we did with Favre. It's the same thing we did with Rodgers. It's the same thing we're doing now. It's just hard to understand. Why do we do this? Why do we give them the open field?
Listen, we scored 9 points today. You're not going to win any games scoring 9 points. You don't win in the NFL scoring 9 points. So if we're going to blame the defense, and we can, because they missed some opportunities, one before the half, missed field goal. They've missed some opportunities. This was a team loss. Offensively, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't put the ball in the end zone. And defensively, listen, you're trying to become the Packers, whether you like it or not.
Right.
Right now, you got two teams that are above you, and you're trying to make the climb. Right now, the Packers better. You're better. You've got draft choices. You've got money to spend. Green Bay doesn't have money to spend this year. You know when they got it? Next year, they get money to spend. So this offseason, find a way to catch up. That way you can get in front of these teams.
Packers, the youngest team now in the playoffs, and they were able to overcome some young mistakes. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Between
they
the missed
started off
field goals,
terribly.
not getting out of
Right.
bounds when they needed to.
Right. Get right before the half. They
Right
couldn't
before
get the
the
ball out
half.
of bounds with forward momentum. The quarterback should have thrown it over the head, and they should have solidified their 3 points, but they didn't. So that was their mistake. They missed the field goal. The guy pulled it left. They missed the field goal. So they missed a chance at points twice. And, yeah, the score probably could have been worse, but it wasn't. It was a one-score game.
Amazing.
It wasn't an ideal game, but it helps you kind of identify where the Bears are short and where they need to become better. So that's it. You're down 2 corners in the middle of that game, too.
Yes, you were.
2 corners. Jalen Johnson never played. You lost number 32.
You lost Terrell Smith, and then Jalen Jones came in, and he was chasing a couple of times.
Yeah.
They didn't have Stroman active, even though they called him up off the practice squad. So, yeah, they were depleted, and that's what led to 308 yards of passing offense
right.
for the Packers.
They didn't look good.
No.
They didn't look good.
No, the offensive line didn't look good. The defense did not look good today either. All right, now let's go out to New York, where we find Joe standing by. Hello, Joe.
Joe.
Hey, Peggy. Hey, Jurk. Thanks for taking my call, guys. So, Jurk, you hit on this earlier, just a little bit ago, and you hit on it last week. Yeah, I think Getsy and Fields, they're married at the hip. You can't keep one and get rid of the other. They both got to stay or they both got to go. But, Jurk, I got to kind of disagree with you. I don't think they should keep them.
Okay.
I think you need to start fresh. And you got a lot of draft capital with that first pick. Or your 10th pick, you can build some more momentum with Eberflus. I don't think Eberflus was Ryan Pohl's choice, because he got hired 2 days after Pohl did. So I think that was already determined by the brass. So I think he should go too. I think you just clean house and start fresh. Let's see what Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles can do with all these picks. That's my take.
Joe has
How do you
spoken.
guys feel about that?
Joe has spoken from Gotham City.
Yes.
New York, big city of dreams.
Yep.
Joe is cleaning house tomorrow and starting anew. All right. We'll see. Tomorrow will tell.
In New York, where one team has a quarterback under contract, the other one has an injured quarterback coming back. Everyone's looking at the quarterback position, though, and I'm looking at the current position. The Bears have the first overall pick. It looks like the Commanders are going to have the second overall pick. They need a quarterback. The Patriots have the third overall pick. They need a quarterback. So in the first 3 picks, the top 2 quarterbacks could be gone.
And Arizona doesn't need a quarterback.
They already said today Kyler Murray is their guy.
Yeah, they said it during the week, too. Kyler Murray is their guy, so that's Marvin Harrison Jr. Wouldn't you think?
You would think so.
Marvin
Yes.
Harrison Jr. is off there. So if you move anywhere past 3, Marvin Harrison Jr. is gone.
Right.
You're not going to get them.
You have then the Chargers pick 5th. They would probably like a Marvin Harrison Jr.
Or an offensive lineman or a receiver that can help them too. The kid from Washington, maybe the kid from LSU also. There's a number of receivers that are high draft choices. You could have Joe Alt. You could have the big offensive lineman from Penn State.
It's interesting. Let's keep going on the phone lines. Do we need to take a break or should we go on the phones? We could go to the phone lines. Okay, let's keep going on the phone lines. Let's go out to Green Bay. We find Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
I'm on. Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for taking my call.
No
you
problem.
Got it.
What's up?
Listen, I get that Eberflus is probably not a good coach. I get that, but I just cannot stand Lugetzey, and I'm sure he's a good guy and everything, and I respect him, but it's just so disheartening and really sickening. Like this offense, just week in and week out. It's just, as I said, I'm not from Green Bay. I was at the game actually, and it's just bad, man. I mean, it was a winnable game. The defense didn't play good. They let them down the field too easily, but they didn't break a ton, and the offense was just putrid. I mean, straight up. I mean, how many times is it just me? I'll ask Jurko, and I respect your opinion, Peggy, as well, but just taking from a player, it just feels like with Getsy, he's running when he should throw, and he's throwing when he should pass every time. And he just doesn't seem to have a good flow of the game. His scripted plays at the beginning are usually terrific. I'm not going to lie. But that's scripted. That's stuff that you practice all week. He has no sense of in-game situations and when to throw and to run. And it's really frustrating. And I know Fields is not a great quarterback. I think he's good. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's great. But I just think that he's really not using his talents to his best abilities. And that's all. I appreciate you guys taking the call. And Jurko, what do you think about what I said with that running when you should pass and pass when you should throw? Just really think that's it. And you guys have a great night.
All right, Andrew. Well, I talked to Peggy. I said, Peggy, they really like to play one style. And that style is they want to control the amount of possessions there are in the game.
That's right.
And this game was 2 hours and 35 minutes. I mean, it was a miracle. This game was over in 2 hours and 35 minutes.
There was like one possession by each team in the first quarter.
The first half went by in 59 minutes, guys. 59 minutes. The first half was over. You can see television executives around the country trying to scramble, getting in a bunch of commercials in. Okay. The way the Bears play and this offense plays is control possessions, run the ball, try to find a way to pick up key third downs, either with Justin Fields running or with the passing game. They weren't aggressive early. They didn't go downfield early. I don't think they believed they were going to have enough time. I think at some point they decided if we try to throw the ball deep, we're going to get Justin Fields killed. So it was a very conservative game plan for me. And the point of the conservative game plan is just try to keep the game close so you get a chance in the second half to maybe do something and get out in front.
The processing of Justin Fields has come up often with Luke Getsy, and he always says there are multiple options on every play. It's up to Justin what he sees and what he calls. So what sometimes looks like Luke Getsy keeps calling the same thing over and over could, in fact, I don't know it, but could be Justin choosing.
Right. And I mean, there were a couple of nice designs, and then Justin found them. The one to the running back on the right side that gave him a ton of yardage. The protection was there when they hit on the 31-yard pass to DJ Moore coming across from right to left underneath. They found him in the pass pattern. He ran that one for 31 yards. There were a couple of nice things being done out there, and there were times you're up against man-to-man. You were just running 4 verticals, and the ball never left the quarterback's hand. Sometimes because there was too much damn pressure and he was running for his dear life, or he was getting sacked. Those are real reasons why you can't get the football somewhere. And the offensive line might have played one of its poor games of the year, at least since September.
Across the line.
Yeah.
They were 3 of 11 on third down and 3 sacks of the 4 or 5 sacks, 4 sacks. 3 of them
came on third down.
As well.
And a lot of those near midfield or on the other side of midfield.
This is the Great Clips post-game show at Great Clips. Their online check-in app saves you time on haircuts. With just a few taps, you can get in and out with a fresh haircut. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Also, join the greatest salon team. Visit jobs.greatclips.com. All salons are independently owned and operated. Contact your local salon for specific safety measures. Again, this is the Great Clips post-game show. We'll be back in a minute. You're listening to the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Turn up your weekend plans at Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. Dance the night away every Friday and Saturday night at the Hard Rock Cafe stage. Or grab a cocktail while you listen to local beats at the Council Oak stage. Get closer to your favorite artist than ever before in our state-of-the-art Hard Rock Live, where we host some of the biggest artists in the industry. Live your life at max volume. Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. Just off Exit 6, I-80-94. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Big news from Bill Jacobs Auto Group. Get ready to hit the road with total peace of mind. Every car purchased or leased from any Bill Jacobs dealerships now comes with our Bill Jacobs Total Mile Protection. New car, you're covered with a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Used car, no worries. You get a 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. Visit us today and drive away with the confidence of total mile protection. Bill Jacobs Auto Group. The cars bring you in, but the experience brings you back.
Football fans, put someone on your team that's ready to fight for you. I'm Julio Costa of Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers. Our team combines technology and expertise to deliver a first-class client experience and get you the wins that you deserve. We're here to help fans everywhere with their injury-related needs. Winning consistently isn't easy. Let us show you what Football Tough Injury Lawyers can do for you. Call us at 708-4million or visit our website at cilaw.com for a free consult.
Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers, 708-4million.
At Great Clips, we know you live a full life, which is why we're full of ways to make getting a great haircut easier. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so you can get the look you love from the skilled stylists at any Great Clip salon. Plus, with convenient online check-in and everyday great prices, you save time and money too. So even when you're not thinking about your next haircut, we are. And when you choose Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Download our app today.
I was told I needed a kidney transplant. My name is Mecca. After doing some research, I put my trust in Northwestern Medicine.
The Northwestern Medicine African American Transplant Access Program is the first of its kind in the nation. Led by Dr. Danae Simpson, the first female African American transplant surgeon in Illinois.
Now I'm recovered and committed to giving back.
Northwestern Medicine invests more in our community than any other healthcare system. Learn more at nm.org/community.
From the backyard to the big screen, pair this year's tailgate with Tito's Handmade Vodka. Fill your roster with a bottle of the good stuff and enough garnishes to last till halftime. Then snag your favorite seat on the couch with an ice-cold Tito's cocktail in hand. In our playbook, that means you're a winner before the game even starts. For game day recipes, gear, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Steinhaffel's New Year's sale starts now. Get some of our best prices of the year. Save up to $800 on sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses, and much more. Plus, you'll find amazing bonus buys throughout the store. And take an extra 10% off our already low clearance center prices. Use Steinhaffel's 60-month special financing to make your new room even more affordable. The New Year's sale at Steinhaffel's. Shop in store or online at steinhaffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhaffel's.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of BMW performance without a single piston or cylinder. A generation of all-electric vehicles designed and built like no other. The BMW iX, i7, and i4 revolutionize every drive into a thrilling opportunity to feel the pure rush of BMW 100% electric. But isn't that what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine? Take advantage of exceptional lease and finance offers today.
Chicago's home for sports is Chicago's new home of the Bears. ESPN Chicago. Peggy and Jurko postgame, ESPN Chicago.
4th and 1. Fields in the gun. Roschon to his left. Komet in motion right side wing. Fields gets under center now and going to sneak it himself in a big pile up. And now a discussion on if he's there or not. The Packers say no. The Bears say yes. Carl Sheffers and his crew will ultimately decide.
I say yes, and if they don't give it to me, I'm going to throw the flag for the spot.
First down, Bears.
Yes.
The drama was killing me. I mean, by the tip of that football, Tommy.
Bears really did struggle, though, on some of those short yardage. As I said, 3 of 11 on third down.
What was he going to throw the flag on? I mean, but that was, how are you going to tell where they were? Thank God the mark came and the referee said it was a first down. That's all that matters at that point. If they didn't make it, you were going to waste the challenge?
No, please don't even say that. Let's go out to Lake Zurich. Lucas is up next on the postgame show. Hi, Lucas.
Hey, thanks for having me on, but I got to say something. If the McCaskies are serious about winning, Eberflus is gone tonight. Forget about the number 1 pick. Forget about Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, whatever. This was the Green Bay Packers. You had a chance to go into Lambeau and end their season. This team came out uninspired and soft. They were getting pushed around all game. And all he could really talk about after the game was his exit interviews. Like, is that a joke? Like, we had a chance to set the tone for next year, and he didn't do it. We need a coach that has a killer instinct and is ready to win these games, period. That's it. And he can take his hits principles and go back to Indianapolis. So I'll let you guys answer, and appreciate you taking my call.
Thank you, Lucas. We appreciate you as well. It just seems like they are giving, they're happy with the culture that he is establishing, the fact that locker room did not crumble this year after that 0-4 start, the loss of a defensive coordinator, the loss of a running backs coach. They gave him enough rope to right the wrongs. We saw a little bit of a win streak.
If he fires the coordinator, he's got 3 coaches to hire anyway on this staff.
Right?
Yeah, he's got to go out and he's got to find 2
coach.
guys already and the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And then if he fires his offensive coordinator, he's got to find another offensive coordinator. I don't think they're firing Eberflus, but we will find out tomorrow, starting at 7 to 10 tomorrow with Jonathan Hood and Dave Kaplan, Cap and Hood. Then it goes to Jurko and Carmen and Jurko from 10 to 2, extended Carmen and Jurko.
And that is here on our flagship station. For those of you who are out of our listening area, you can always watch the shows live on twitch.tv/ESPN1000 Chicago. And you can listen in on the ESPN Chicago app as well. Let's keep going on the phone lines. Out to Elmhurst we go. Hello, Steve.
Yeah, good evening. It's driving me a little bit nuts when I hear these callers blaming the defense when, this is a Packers defense that gave up 30 points to Carolina and you can't get a single touchdown. Come on. You can't expect the defense to just shut the Packers out. This is a Packers offense that, in the second half of the season was a pretty good offense. And so I think that's just unrealistic. And, I am looking forward to seeing what the Bears decide to do as far as the coaches are concerned. I think Eberflus did a pretty good job the second half of this season after he took over the defense particularly. And you add a capable quarterback, and I really have never believed in Fields. And he just, once again reconfirmed to me he's not a franchise quarterback. And so if you can get a second-round pick for him, and you can get a really good center, that would be wonderful because you really need a center. I was so disappointed with the offensive line in this game today. I felt like they really took a beating. And it was really not a good showing on their part. What do you think?
Steve, thank you very much.
Oh, they took a beating.
Yep, they sure did.
There's no gray area. They took a beating today.
I'll tell you what, this was an opportunity for the Bears in prime time to really prove their worth. And I know when I was working in Connecticut, I was always trying to sell the teams in Chicago against everyone on the East Coast. So let's go out to Paul in Connecticut. Paul is standing by. Paul, I know that you are constantly screaming for the Bears out there in New England, aren't you?
Yeah, it's tough. I live out here in Connecticut, and sometimes we don't get the Bears games. So you buy the package, so you get the games, and then you wonder at the end of the season, why did I buy the package to watch the games? Why did I? It's like buying a food that is going to give you heartburn, and I buy it every year. So after today, one thing that stood out to me, Jurko, I want to know if you felt the same thing. especially in the third quarter. This whole game felt like an opportunity to put a nice bow on a not pretty season, but not an awful season, not like last year, and to knock the Packers out of the playoffs. I mean, the Bears fans could dine out on that little morsel for months before the draft. And it didn't feel like when the third quarter started, there was any urgency. And, I don't think Fields had a bad game, but he rarely has bad games. He rarely has great games. But that's how I felt. It felt like a lack of urgency, and it felt like a huge missed opportunity.
Well, I mean, that's just it. When I talked about their style of play and what they like to do, they like to limit possessions. They want to control the clock to get keep third down conversions, force the other team to be able to execute. The problem is when the other team can't execute. And fortunately for the Bears, the Packers were misfiring a little bit, which kept the game a little bit closer than it actually was. But that's the style they play. It's unfortunate, but that's right now with what they have and the weapons they've got. That's the style they play. We talked about it. And I talked about if he was going to come back that I needed to have a Packer victory at the end of the year to go ahead and say we went 3-3 in the division. That's what I wanted to see. Unfortunately for us, that didn't happen today. It didn't happen.
Even find, and you guys may agree with me, but what's even more frustrating, there's a lot of frustrating things, but also if you're a fan, I think Jordan Love is going to finish second in the NFC in touchdown passes. I think he's going to be like a touchdown behind Dak Prescott in his first season as a starter. He's going to finish with 33 touchdown passes. And the double whammy is the Bears don't know still if they have a quarterback, probably don't. And it looks like the Packers do again for the next decade.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. It was almost as uninspired as week one. It just felt like the season ended last week.
Yeah, not as bad, but yeah, it was uninspiring.
It was uninspiring. Paul, thank you, by the way. Say hello to Dan for us.
Yeah, you saw some flashes, but not enough.
Yeah, exactly. I said say hello to Dan because Paul works on the Dan Patrick Show in Connecticut out there, where I used to work at the
what is that, Paul Pabst?
The big house. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the big house there. All right, more of your phone calls when we come back. We need to take a break. When we come back, we will also find the great in this game. No touchdowns. I promise you, we will find the great.
Bring family or office teams together with the unbeatable flavors of Bona Catering. Bona has 28 locations in the area, ready to bring a taste of celebration right to your doorstep. Choose from delivery or easy pickup options. Choose from customizable buffets and boxed lunches to create the perfect party spread. And of course, no gathering is truly complete without Chicago's original Italian beef from Bona. Make your events memorable with Bona Catering. Don't wait. Pre-order your catering now at bona.com/catering.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of BMW performance without a single piston or cylinder. A generation of all-electric vehicles designed and built like no other. The BMW iX, i7, and i4 revolutionize every drive into a thrilling opportunity to feel the pure rush of BMW 100% electric. But isn't that what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine? Take advantage of exceptional lease and finance offers today.
At 19 weeks pregnant, I found out my blood was attacking my baby. I'm Ellen, and my team said her only chance at survival was a rare procedure.
Top ranked in Illinois for obstetrics and gynecology by U.S. News and World Report, the team at Northwestern Maternal Fetal Medicine Clinic treats high-risk pregnancies from across Chicagoland. They performed an unprecedented 5 in utero blood transfusions to ensure Ellen and her baby had a compatible blood type.
Today, my baby is healthy and full of life.
Northwestern Medicine, better.
New year, new resolutions. But let's be real. Most resolutions don't make it to February. There's one resolution you can keep. Upgrading to Wintrust Community Bank's Total Access Checking. Take home a $300 bonus with qualifying activities and start the year off right. Experience a different approach to banking with Wintrust Total Access Checking, where resolutions meet results. Make 2024 the year of better banking. Open your account today at wintrust.com/2024. Wintrust. Different approach, better results. Only $100 required to open. No monthly minimum balance and no monthly maintenance fees. Member FDIC.
Hey, football fans, holiday lights may be gone, but what's that dashboard light? An illuminated check engine light may indicate an issue with one of your vehicle's operating systems. It could be a minor problem, or it may be a serious condition. AMCO's check engine light check can isolate the problem before it gets worse. And for a limited time, it's free. If holiday bills left you tight for cash, AMCO offers up to 12 months no interest payments. Their technicians will diagnose and fix your vehicle right. Search AAMCO for a location near you. That's AMCO, AAMCO. Transmissions and a whole lot more.
I'm Chicago personal injury lawyer Jim Morisi.
Even when we're careful, other people's negligence can threaten our futures. As one of Illinois' most successful injury firms, winning the most complex personal injury and workers' compensation cases is what we do. Consultations are always free. Visit us at mauricilongo.com. That's MORICILONGO. Maurici Longo and Associates. We're there when you need us.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo, when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful VC turbo engine, well, we had time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue.
From the backyard to the big screen, pair this year's tailgate with Tito's Handmade Vodka. Fill your roster with a bottle of the good stuff and enough garnishes to last till halftime. Then snag your favorite seat on the couch with an ice-cold Tito's cocktail in hand. In our playbook, that means you're a winner before the game even starts. For game day recipes, gear, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
The new home of the Chicago Bears.
Hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans.
ESPN Chicago. Postgame. More Bears talk coming up. ESPN Chicago.
Jordan Love takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Love motioning right, going to keep, and he's going to run through it. The ball comes out and recovered by Brisker. In Bears territory, it was popped out of there. Jordan Love on the turnover with 1:17 to go in the third quarter. 14-6 Green Bay, and the Bears have the football. Jaquan Brisker on the ball, and it was flipped out of there. Jordan Love has fumbled a fair time or two this season, and that one spelled trouble for the Packers.
The only takeaway of the game, the fumble recovery by Jaquan Brisker, the pass breakup by Tyreek Stevenson on that play. The Bears' ensuing drive, nice completion to DJ Moore for an 11-yard gain. That was on 3rd and 7. That's the one that Green Bay tried to challenge the catch, and it went off of DJ's helmet as he was coming to the ground, never hit the ground.
Right, never hit the ground.
But then they had an incompletion to Robert Tonyan in the end zone, and then another incompletion to Cole Kmet in the end zone that was broken up by Valentine. They had to settle for a field goal. No touchdowns for the Bears in this game, and unfortunately, that is not enough to get it done. 312-332-3776. We continue on the phone lines. Oh, we have our great clips. Oh, did we? That was it. I forgot. That was like the only great of the game. Thank you so much.
That's right. That is the great clips, great of the game.
Thank you for reminding me because there was only a few of them today. That is our great clips, great of the game, because at Great Clips, their online check-in app saves you time on haircuts. With just a few taps, you can get in and out with a fresh haircut. Great Clips. It's gonna be great. Also, join the greatest salon team. Visit jobs.greatclips.com. All salons are independently owned and operated. Contact your local salon for specific safety measures.
And kickers are ineligible for that, by the way, unless they kick like a 67-yard field goal for a game winner.
That was our other option, was to give it to Cairo Santos.
But I'm going to tell you what it's going to take for Santos to do that. It's going to take a 67-yarder to win the game outdoors against the wind in the sleet and snow.
Kudos, though, to Cairo Santos, who passes Robbie Gould on the Bears' single-season franchise recordless hit, kicking his 34th field goal.
He got rewarded with a brand new contract.
Yeah, you're right.
He's
did.
gotten rewarded
so he
with a
doesn't
brand
get
new
a Great
contract.
Clips grade of the game.
He's ineligible as long as I'm here, Peggy.
You got it.
Yeah.
All righty.
No kickers and no returners. Sorry, Devin.
Kenny is in Dallas. Hello, Kenny.
How are you doing, everybody?
How are you, Kenny?
Hey, Jurk, how are you, bud?
Great.
Hey, I have two questions for you, but I have a most important question for Peggy. Peggy, I live in Texas. We have Kroger, we have Tom Thumb, we have Whole Foods, we got Central Market. When you go to the store, what's your go-to bottle of wine?
Oh, your number one bottle of wine, and she drinks white
For
wine.
Peggy,
I actually do not buy my wine at the grocery store.
Look at you go. Come on.
I know. Turn the nose up, even though I know I can find plenty of good ones.
Pinky out, everything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right.
What do you go for, though?
Oh, what do I go for?
Yeah,
I'm actually a French Bordeaux. I like French Bordeaux. I like the blends.
Okay. All right. Good enough.
Thanks,
All right,
Kenny.
perfect. You got it. Hey, Jurk.
Yep.
So here's what nobody's talked about in the last 2 months. This defense has made the corner since we got Montez Sweat. You're a defensive guy. Eberflus didn't start calling different plays once we got Montez Sweat on Halloween. So the whole thing with the coaching staff, and I know I know you can't criticize the coaching staff. You can if you want. I don't think you will. Fine. Everybody that says we're keeping Eberflus because he's coaching such a great defense, I don't see it. And like today on the field, they went up and down the field like the wind. And like, what did we stop? And like, is our defense Jalen Johnson, one person? No. And so I just, Eberflus is a really nice guy. I get that. But we've got to look at it. And I think Warren and Poles are going to look at it as a big picture. And I sure hope they do. And I sure hope they go macro versus micro and go, we can't draft Caleb Williams or Drake May and go, this is going to change the team because we need help on both lines. Justin's got to get better. I get it. I want to keep him, but I want him to get better. I'm not tied to him. I know he's made mistakes, but we've got to add pieces. And if you're telling me we can have the number one pick, we can move back a couple spots, add more first round, second round picks, and keep going and add to these lines, I think that's the way that Poles is wanting to go. And I sure hope he is. But I just, 17 quarterbacks have won 37 of the 57 Super Bowls. And you know this, and Peggy, you know this. Aikman had Norv Turner. Montana had Bill Walsh. Terry Bradshaw had Chuck Noll. Difference makers at that position and difference makers in the coaching room. Let's get that. And Carmen, when I called in a couple weeks ago, you and Carmen and I talked about it. Why is the bar here? Let's set the bar at the highest. We're Chicago. Let's set the bar as high as it possibly can be, and let's go get the best coaches we possibly can get.
Kenny,
like I said,
Kenny, thank you. I appreciate the phone call.
Yeah, the problem is Mike Tomlin's already employed by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if you're going to get the best of the best, most of them are already employed. So you're left with the rest, and then you've got to go ahead and mince through everything. And Kenny, I can say anything I want about anybody. Just remember that. As long as I don't swear, I cuss, and I don't make things personal. Somebody ever told me I couldn't criticize the Chicago Bears, they'd fly out of a 7th floor window here at the beautiful ABC building at 190 North State. So I can do what I want. It's interesting. You want to dump all the coaches, but you want to keep Justin Fields. I find that a unique approach to what's happening here in the city of in the city of Chicago. So that I'm going to say right away. If you're firing Eberflus, you're firing everybody. You're bringing everybody in. And what's the name out there? Jim Harbaugh re-signs with the Michigan Wolverines.
Or maybe not. There was a report over the weekend.
11 years, $150 million.
That the Bears and the Commanders are two teams.
Who's going to give Jim Harbaugh $150 million in the NFL?
No.
I give you the answer is nobody.
No, right.
Nobody is giving Jim Harbaugh $150 million in the NFL. That's who's doing it. Nobody.
But Kenny brings up an interesting point, and that is that in Chicago, the bar is so low for quarterbacking that we settle for mediocrity. We settle for splashes, and we'd rather build up around them to make them look better.
You spent the second round choice on Trubisky. He was a failure. You spent the 10th or the 11th pick on Justin Fields? And he hasn't borne any fruit yet, has he?
No.
Okay, but you've done that. You've done that. But when you hire a coach, what are you hiring from when you hire a coaching staff? Aren't all the good head coaches already employed?
Yes.
Aren't they the ones? And for all the Bruce Arians in the world, they always end up kind of petering out quickly. Guys get to the Super Bowl. Ken Wisenhunt was a great coach for 2-3 years. Then all of a sudden he couldn't get out of his own way. So what are you hiring? The next hotshot offensive coordinator? Name them around the league.
Well,
they thought they got him in Matt Nagy. What happened? Nothing.
Someone gave Mike McDaniels an opportunity. These guys did get the opportunities.
And what has he won? What has Mike McDaniels won now in 2 years?
Nothing yet.
Now, I will offer that's not a long time, but everybody's willing to make a decision on Eberflus after 1 year where they were rebuilding. They told Matt, you got to go coach it. We're selling everything. We're giving up. We don't care. We want to try to get the highest draft choice we can. And all of a sudden, that year gets hung on Eberflus. It doesn't get hung up on Poles. Poles is the guy that was responsible for that first year. Not Eberflus. That wasn't Eberflus doing. He didn't sign up and say, geez, I can't wait till you got this team and this thing really stinks so we can get the first-round draft choice. Now, it happened. It did. But why does everybody want to hang it on Eberflus and Fields, but nobody wants to put it on Poles? Poles walks away scot-free. Okay? So let's all use our brains here when we sit and we want to judge this. Judge them on this year. It's critical of the preseason. I didn't like the way they were practicing. They started 0-4. They all took the Indianapolis game off. Remember that? They went down to Indy. They practiced against them twice, and they were so good and they were so established. He said, you guys don't have to play. We don't need the practice. So I was critical of them coming out. Then they started 0-4. Well, everybody says the first four games count, guys. They count. So that's what I was critical of with Eberflus. He's got some strengths. They'll make a decision tomorrow. We'll find out.
We'll find out tomorrow as the exit interviews for players begin at 7 a.m., going through 4 p.m., whether or not there is a press conference. You can keep it here to the flagship station, ESPN 1000. Check us out on the ESPN Chicago app as well. And you can also catch all of the shows on twitch.tv/ESPN 1000 Chicago for the latest news on the Chicago Bears. Let's take a break. When we come back, more of your phone calls. You are listening to the Great Clips postgame show. This is the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Want to live life at max volume? Then look no further than Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. With over 1,700 slots, 80 table games, live entertainment, and 5 restaurants which span a wide range of culinary genres, we are sure to have something for everyone. Whether you want to indulge in a savory dish at Council Oak Steaks and Seafood, or take in dinner and live music at the world-renowned Hard Rock Cafe, amplify your entertainment experience at Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, just off Exit 6, I-8094. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Dear football fans, Toyota's roster of all-star vehicles are ready for kickoff. Drive the field in style with a Camry or Corolla. Upgrade your ground game with the versatile RAV4. Or there's Grand Highlander and Tundra, our full-size Defenders. And here's an extra point. All these vehicles come with available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. Visit Toyota.com or head to your local Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, Chicago fans, I'm Julio Costa of Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers. We know injuries are part of the game, and if you've been in an accident, part of your life too. When the insurance companies are trying to score against you, we're there to intercept. Football fans, we are ready to fight for you. With over $100 million in recoveries for our injured clients, we know how to tackle the competition. Let us show you what Football Tough Injury Lawyers can do for you. Call us at 708-4-MILLION or visit our website at cilaw.com for a free consult.
Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers, 708-4-MILLION.
Steinhaffel's New Year's sale starts now. Get some of our best prices of the year. Save up to $800 on sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses, and much more. Plus, you'll find amazing bonus buys throughout the store. And take an extra 10% off our already low clearance center prices. Use Steinhaffel's 60-month special financing to make your new room even more affordable. The New Year's sale at Steinhaffel's. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhaffel's.
Bears football and Miller Lite, Chicago's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Battles on Sundays, bliss on Mondays. Going deep dish, going tavern style. Bearing down, then raising one up. You never forget the way some things taste. Bears football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Peoria, Illinois, that wildly underrated peach of a place downstate, wants you to take its jobs. Okay, so their careers, really. High-paying ones at world-class companies. And there are hundreds of them just waiting for someone with as much talent as you to say, bleep it, I'm moving to Peoria. But that overabundance of opportunity isn't the only thing Peoria has going for it. To explore all the perks and to land your dream career, head to choosegreaterpeoria.org.
Roofers and Waterproofers Local 11 provides quality, value, and service in all facets of the commercial, industrial, and institutional roofing and waterproofing industry, promoting skilled craftsmen and craftswomen through apprenticeship training. Local 11 members are trained in the application of the latest roofing and waterproofing techniques. They are at the forefront of design and installation of environmental-friendly solar, green, and garden systems. To find a highly skilled roofing contractor today, go to chicago-roofingcontractors.org.
Excellence. It means going the extra mile. You know that Volvo cars speak to excellence. And at Howard Orloff Volvo Cars, going the extra mile starts and ends with their culture of care and thoughtfulness. Guys, it's Carmen, and I've seen firsthand how Orloff Volvo goes the extra mile every day for everyone. And the Orloff name attached to the Volvo name is perfect, and they're known for safety and reliability. Howard Orloff Volvo Cars, just off the Kennedy at Armitage in Chicago. Volvo for life.
The Chicago Bears' new home. ESPN Chicago. Postgame. More Bears talk coming up. ESPN Chicago.
First down and 10 for the Bears at the 48 of Green Bay. Tunyon in motion to the right side, settles next to Darnell Wright. Herbert in the game. Shotgun on RPO. Keeper by Fields running right. Feet first slide. Hit. And Fields puts his head in the grass. The hit there may have done some damage. And the hit by the safety, Jonathan Owens, of course, no flag. And Fields helped up by his teammates, Cody Whitehair and DJ Moore. He's up on his feet. Clock running at 9:14 to go. And a pickup of about 6 yards.
A tough ending to the season for the Chicago Bears as they lose to the Packers 17-9, dropping to 7-10 now on the season as they go home and ponder what will be next year, who will be back, including head coach Matt Eberflus, offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, and most importantly, the big debate all season long. It's how we started the season and it's how we end the season is the future of quarterback Justin Fields. Fields had an opportunity today in prime time to show that he could match up with a Jordan Love, another young quarterback who sat in the wings, though, watching and learning, and who is on the up and up and now has the youngest team in the playoffs with a wild card berth for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, two ways to learn, by doing or by watching and then doing. And it looks like right now the guy that got the chance to watch for a couple of years and then a chance to, or 3 years, was it? And then he's got a chance to do?
Yeah.
Or he did it 2 years and then I forget how many years Jordan Love's even been in the league. But either way, he found a way to get it done. And he looks pretty good. And he looks solid. Put a lot of air under the ball today.
Oh, boy. I said, not only are does he loft they're high.
Yeah.
His passes are high. He's got that release where it's like a little jump at the end.
Yeah.
And he just lofts the ball.
Just puts it up there. Give the receiver the chance to catch the ball. But, I mean, that's what he did. I was disgruntled. I was disheartened sometimes when I watched the defense play a little bit today, that they couldn't find a way to make things happen for the Bears. They forced the one turnover. I thought they were going to find a way to pick them, but I guess you got to watch Jordan Love for a little bit, not just on film, but you've got to experience the way he plays. And maybe, the NFL catches up to him next year. Maybe they find a way to get more footballs.
Matt Eberflus finishes after 2 seasons with a 10-24 record as head coach of the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields 8-20 as a starter with the Chicago Bears, and the Bears open the season 0-4 start, and they finish with a 5-3 finish in their final 8 games. And now the ball is in Ryan Pohl's court to decide who stays, who goes, as the final curtain has dropped. And they all can exit stage left. Not a mic drop, though. There's no mic drop on this finale. Let's take a moment here to thank everyone who has taken part in our first season here carrying the Chicago Bears. We want to thank you fans for switching over to us and tuning in and sounding off. For the last time this season, our thanks go out to executive producer Eric Ostrowski, Kendra Smith, Justin Pottinger, our broadcast crew, Jeff Joniak, Tom Thayer, and Jason McKee, head coach Matt Eberflus, and quarterback 1 Justin Fields for their postgame interviews, along with DeMarcus Walker today. Bears finished the season today with the number 1 pick in the NFL draft in their back pocket. Stay tuned to the ESPN Chicago app throughout the offseason for the latest on the Bears' moves. Bears lose to the Packers 17-9 for Jurko. I'm Peggy. You have been listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears radio network. We say goodbye to our affiliates, and we welcome the rest of you to stand by with your phone calls. The postgame show will be taking them up next.
Bring family or office teams together with the unbeatable flavors of Bona Catering. Bona has 28 locations in the area, ready to bring a taste of celebration right to your doorstep. Choose from delivery or easy pickup options. Choose from customizable buffets and boxed lunches to create the perfect party spread. And of course, no gathering is truly complete without Chicago's original Italian beef from Bona. Make your events memorable with Bona Catering. Don't wait. Pre-order your catering now at bona.com/catering.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of BMW performance without a single piston or cylinder. A generation of all-electric vehicles designed and built like no other. The BMW iX, i7, and i4 revolutionize every drive into a thrilling opportunity to feel the pure rush of BMW 100% electric. But isn't that what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine? Take advantage of exceptional lease and finance offers today.
Heart surgery is no one's dream of retirement. I'm Beverly, and that's what I was facing when my cardiology team at Northwestern Medicine identified a diseased valve in my heart. But thanks to Dr. Gang and Dr. Ahmad's expertise, I didn't have to have open heart surgery.
With access to the top heart and vascular program in Illinois by U.S. News and World Report, Beverly's team at Central DuPage Hospital replaced her diseased aortic valve using a tiny catheter, and she was back on her feet in just a few days. Northwestern Medicine. Better.
Do you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all? At Wintrust Community Banks, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to wintrust.com/locknewrates or visit one of our over 170 locations today. Bank differently with Wintrust. Member FDIC.
I'm Chicago personal injury lawyer Jim Morisi, the managing partner of Morisi Longo & Associates. If you've been seriously hurt at work, in a car accident, or on a construction site, you know the insurance companies are not on your side. Our trial lawyers will level the playing field and put you in control. Consultations are always free. Google Morisi Longo & Associates, MORICILONGO.com, or call 312-372-9600. We're here when you need us.
From the backyard to the big screen, pair this year's tailgate with Tito's handmade vodka. Fill your roster with a bottle of the good stuff and enough garnishes to last till halftime. Then snag your favorite seat on the couch with an ice-cold Tito's cocktail in hand. In our playbook, that means you're a winner before the game even starts. For game day recipes, gear, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
At Great Clips, we know you live a full life, which is why we're full of ways to make getting a great haircut easier. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so you can get the look you love from the skilled stylists at any Great Clip salon. Plus, with convenient online check-in and everyday great prices, you save time and money too. So even when you're not thinking about your next haircut, we are. And when you choose Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Download our app today.
Big news from Bill Jacobs Auto Group. Get ready to hit the road with total peace of mind. Every car purchased or leased from any Bill Jacobs dealerships now comes with our Bill Jacobs Total Mile Protection. New car? You're covered with a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Used car? No worries. You get a 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. Visit us today and drive away with the confidence of Total Mile Protection. Bill Jacobs Auto Group. The cars bring you in, but the experience brings you back.
The new home of the Chicago Bears.
Quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it! Walter Payton, the National Football League, all-time leading rusher.
ESPN Chicago.
You've been listening to Bears football on the Bears Radio Network.
Here comes the ball.
The Bears Radio Network is brought to you in part by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, and Miller Lite. This is Bears football on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Here comes the ball. Here comes the ball. Thanks for listening to the Chicago Bears Radio Network. The new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. More Bears postgame is coming up. WMVP, WSHE HD2, Chicago. Here comes the ball.
The Bears season ends in a very similar fashion to the way it began. A loss to the Green Bay Packers. The Bears lose 17-9 to close out the season at 7-10. The Packers move to 9-8 and into the playoffs. A very disappointing loss, I think, for the Bears and Bears fans as well. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Pat the Designer. We'll also have Jason McKee here at some point as he makes his way back from Lambeau Field tonight, doing the sidelines for the final time this season. Look, it's been fabulous to be the brand new home of the Chicago Bears. Very proud of the way this radio station has covered the Bears all season long, Pat. But it certainly does end in a manner which is very less than satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, today, again, like you said, very much how it started. A team that looked unprepared, looked not ready for the moment, looked overmatched at times, looked like they could not figure out what the opposing quarterback was doing, looked like they could not figure out how to get pressure on the opposing quarterback. And for some reason, as we've talked about all season, a team that just didn't want to be aggressive at the end of the day, didn't want to attack the Packers. It felt like the kid that goes to school knowing the bully is bigger than him. That's what the Bears felt like today. Like in our minds, right? We're the kid that's like, I'm going to stand up to the bully and finally take a swing. And he like punches him in the gut and nothing happens. And then you get beat up. That's what it feels like right now as a Bears fan in Chicago.
Didn't want to be aggressive or didn't know how to be aggressive. It's hard to distinguish between a lot of the issues the Bears have. And despite the fact that we were very optimistic a week ago after the performance they put up against the Atlanta Falcons, it was it was about as good as I felt about the Bears since kickoff, before the season kicked off.
Yeah.
Because the way the season opened with that loss at home really put a damper on everything, and it took a long time to turn it around.
Yeah.
And it took some sustained winning from Matt Eberflus and the Bears. We were quoting the 5 wins in your last 7 losses before today.
Yeah.
And it kind of took that type of run to start feeling good about where the team was at, coupled with the fact that, of course, they had secured the first overall pick from the Panthers last week, and all of a sudden, the future looked very bright. And you were hoping that the Bears could go ahead and put an exclamation point on the way the season finished, close it out strong, eliminate the Packers from the playoffs, your arch nemesis, and go into the offseason flying high with the wind at your sails. And that is not the way it unfolded. And so, Bears fans, we're here for you. The post-game show, 312-332-3776. Going to be hanging out until 10 o'clock tonight, taking all your calls, reacting to not just today's game, but probably more importantly, what the offseason looks like for the Bears. Will they move forward with Matt Eberflus? I think the breadcrumbs are leading us to the point where it seems very likely. Now, You know what? I want to play this out of the outset here because I think Tracy Wolfson's report on CBS's broadcast was very revealing, and she talked about having had a conversation with Kevin Warren.
Well, Jim, I had a chance to speak with Bears team president and CEO Kevin Warren before the game, and he told me tomorrow the coaches will have a final meeting with the players, and then he and Ryan Poles will have their end-of-the-year process and recap with the coaches. One thing he stressed to me is the importance of stability. They have a stadium plan, a team plan, and they have a culture plan, and he's been very pleased with what he's seen in terms of the improvement of Justin Fields and this team this year. And Kevin Warren mentioned to me his time with Dick Vermeil and the LA Rams and how it took until year 3 to put it all together. He sees this as a similar situation. Certainly will be interesting to see what the Bears ultimately do, guys.
So that was Tracy Wolfson at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And, you know, we know Kevin Warren's time in St. Louis with the Rams back when they were there led to his experience where he won a Super Bowl. And it was, as Tracy Wolfson mentioned there, during Dick Vermeil's third season when things really took off with Kurt Warner and the greatest show on turf. Now, my question is, are you leaning on what you hope to be the case, or do you actually see signs of what you saw in St. Louis? Only Kevin Warren can answer that. I'll be curious to see what his answer is to that, when we hear from him maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, once the Bears do conclude their evaluation process. Let's bring in Jason McKee right now. He is heading back from Lambeau. He was on the sidelines. You heard him right here on the home of the Chicago Bears with Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer on the call. J-Mac, your thoughts, not just on today's game, but also that report from Tracy Wolfson on CBS, which I'm sure you probably heard for the first time there since you were actually doing a job during the game.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, you know, wanting to have stability. It's very important. We've talked about it ad nauseum, you know, on our post game. Chemistry is everything. Chemistry helps lead to success. And regardless of the guys that's in the locker room that have bonded this year, every year is going to be a new team. There's going to be guys that are going to be let go for all different reasons, but every single time an NFL season concludes, it's going to be a new locker room. So the stability in terms of the main guys, the main captains, you know, the key pieces that you have brought on this team. But there will be some changes, and, you know, I understand that stability is key with the head coach and stuff like that, but we've got to find stability and consistency in winning, something that we haven't here in Chicago for a long time. And, you know, it's going to be changes that have to be made, because what we saw today, it's, you know, you're going up against a Green Bay team who played like they wanted to go to the playoffs, and we couldn't score, like we were sleepwalking a little bit, and we didn't play like a team that wanted to ruin that. We didn't play like a team that wanted to put an exclamation point.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt, J-Mac, and I'll add this, Pat. The fact that the youngest team in the NFL goes ahead and does that to you to, you know, force their way into the playoffs with Jordan Love, you know, really showing his growth throughout the season, I think that's something that hopefully Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles took notice of as well. And when you're going through the evaluation process, certainly, yes, there's a period where you need to give some people some latitude because you did do a full teardown and rebuild. But at the same time, it can't always be about giving them extra time because, as you see, your opponent today, the youngest team in the NFL and also the youngest team ever since they started tracking this back in 1970, CBS gave us that stat. The Packers become the youngest team ever to get into the NFL playoffs.
Listen, you don't have to go back that far. This is a team that allowed 30 points to Carolina last week.
Yes.
This is a team that, this is a team that you should not have been afraid to attack. And whether it is a fear of attacking downfield, whether it is a fear of just slants, just running slants. Like, my God, like, can we get something short yardage that you can attack these guys with? Or it's just a complete ineptitude to try and do something like that. I don't know where the blame lies at this point, but when I hear the report that Matt Eberflus is coming back in stability, right, I guess that would lean to you speaking to what the Packers have done. The job that Matt LaFleur has done, you have to commend, because everybody thought it was just because of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is great. He's back there. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever throw a football, one of the greatest passers I've ever seen in my life. Like, all these things are true. So now what's he going to do with a young quarterback, and how's he going to build a system around this guy? Well, the system didn't change. He adjusted some things to his game, but for the most part, he allowed a young quarterback to go out there and develop, and keeping that stability there. That's kind of why we've seen Jordan Love flourish throughout the rest of this season. And listen, they're back in the playoffs. We'll see what they do in the playoffs. I think that with this defense, they're going to have a tough time, but we'll see what it ends up being.
Here's the thing, right? We talk about Jordan Love. Jordan Love, just like Aaron Rodgers, had the opportunity to sit behind a true franchise quarterback. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre, saw how he went about his work, saw how he prepared, saw what enabled him to be a franchise quarterback. Jordan Love, same thing, had the opportunity to sit behind an Aaron Rodgers, right? We haven't had any quarterback here in Chicago, right, sit behind another successful quarterback and to see what it takes in terms of preparation, to see what it takes in terms of watching film, being a leader, leading a team, and understanding what it takes to be a franchise quarterback. So we're talking about, drafting guys and bringing quarterbacks in here, or trying to find out who our next franchise quarterback is when we bring them in here and they don't have an example to follow. So I'm not going to say it's development. And the Green Bay, they've done a good job of development, right? But at the same time, they have had, the quarterbacks that have come in have had an opportunity to learn from somebody that's already a franchise quarterback, and that's a luxury that we have never had here in Chicago.
That's tough for me, though, because, 2 years, it's not to say that J-Mac's wrong. I think that that's just worked out for the Packers, right? But when you have good people in place to teach guys how to become veterans, we see it work out. I look at the Texas situation. In the time that we've drafted 2 quarterbacks to try and find a franchise QB, it looks like they found 2.
The Texans?
The Texans, yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there's a lot.
Deshaun Watson,
Sure.
that was a layup. We just fumbled that one. And then on the flip side, C.J. Stroud, and it's being put in positions to be successful. Both of these guys came into situations that, at a certain point, Deshaun Watson literally was getting blocked 4 by 3 tight ends. There were literally 3 tight ends on the line because they were down so many offensive linemen. They were struggling so hard. So, I want to see guys put quarterbacks in positions for them to succeed consistently, or at least, I don't care. At this point, the decision may be made on Justin Fields. It may not, whether he's here or not. You know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see an offensive coordinator that says it's my system or the highway.
Well, and to your point, J-Mac and Pat's here. So you're right. The one thing, though, unfortunately for the Bears to figure this out, right, is that they don't have the luxury of having Hall of Fame quarterbacks and so they need to figure out and find the solution to do so without having that luxury. And so that's where, Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles need to really, I think this is a hard decision. It'll be I think it's comfortable for them to bring back Matt Eberflus, especially because of the success he's had. But
I got questions on that too.
Listen, and we're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to take all your calls. But the one thing I keep getting back to is, you have to figure this out, and you're in the spot now this offseason where if you're going to make the change, it is obviously apparent that you're never going to be set up better to do so holding this number 1 overall pick. If that's the route you choose to go because Fields has not shown you enough to believe you can go forward with him as your franchise quarterback, then I think you really have to, if you're Ryan Poles, have a conversation. Is Matt Eberflus the right guy to be in place to do this and undertake this? Because he is a defensive coordinator who has ascended to the head coaching job. Yep. He's done well with this defense. We've all applauded him for that. However, to your point, Pat, I don't think Luke Getsy can be trusted to be the guy to help usher in the new era of a new quarterback if that's the route you want to go. And so if that's the case, what is Matt Eberflus's pitch for who's going to be the guy who's going to help tutor this quarterback that you're going to go forward with? And because they don't have a Hall of Fame quarterback for him to learn from, J-Mac.
Yeah, and I think, we talk about the weapons that the Packers have, right? A collection of young receivers that have been developed, right? We talk about Wicks, right? He was a guy, I think he was drafted in, the 5th round, if I'm not mistaken. You look at Reed, he's a higher draft pick, but Dobbs is a younger, a lower draft pick. And they've done a good job of development. And the Packers, they've always done a good job of development because whenever that upper echelon player leaves the Packers, right, somebody else steps in and they produce. Just like maybe not up to the level that star produced that left, but they produce, right? When you look at our wide receiver room, okay, it's DJ Moore and then who? You know what I mean? And I just feel like we've had a hard time of development. You know, we've hit on some picks, but at the same time, yeah, you're going to be able to draft guys in the first round and second round who you expect to come in and contribute, but you have to be able to bring guys in, whether they're undrafted free agents, later picks that you're going to have to count upon and that are you're going to have to develop into playmakers.
Yeah.
And that's something that we haven't done consistently here as well. So that doesn't help the development of a quarterback. That hurts it, because when you look at today, right, Justin Field drops back. He's looking at DJ Moore. If Cole Kmet's not in there, who else is he looking to?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we're talking about he's holding the ball too long. And, yeah, sometimes he's holding the ball too long. But at the end of the day, who's getting open?
No.
I can't count how many times I looked on that field today, and Justin Fields, one, he's dropping back, something we talked about, you know, time and time again. Move the pocket, get him on the move where he's comfortable, maybe give him a half-field read. But at the same time, what do? We still drop him straight back. We know half of our offensive linemen, they're hurt. We got a new center, you know, a new guard in there, but we still drop him back, right? And then when he's looking to throw the ball, there's nobody open. You know, so it's a collection of a lot of things that's you know that's been frustrating this entire season. So you know, I just don't understand how, you know, one organization is really good at development and we just can't get it right. So that's the main thing. We talk about stability. Well, it's about stability. It's about development. It's about, you know, people doing their job at a high level if we want to be able to compete.
That's the voice of Jason McKee. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Pat the Designer, taking your calls on the post-game show. Plenty to talk about. Bears season is over, but your conversation with us is not. Keep it here on ESPN 1000.
The new home of the Chicago Bears.
The Wolverines, the Huskies, both survived their semifinal classics on New Year's Day.
They have done it! They have done it!
But only one can be national champion. Michigan, Washington, the College Football Playoff National Championship, tomorrow night at 8 on ESPN Chicago.
Bowl season brought to you by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Long day. Time to charge up.
Hey, just like my delivery truck.
Even kids know to keep business moving forward, it's time to make the switch to electric vehicles. Whether you have one van or a whole fleet of trucks, resources are available to help you make the changes that make sense.
Let's go.
Beep, beep.
Go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Hey friends, it's Tom Waddle, and I drive a Hawk. The New Year's sales event is going on all month at hawkauto.com. Choose from Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Subaru, Cadillac, Mazda, Volkswagen, and Nissan models, and a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles. Get New Year's savings with 0% financing for 60 months or make no payments for 90 days. Find your next car at hawkauto.com and drive what I drive. Drive a Hawk.
hawkauto.com.
On select models with approved credit.
It's open enrollment for the ACA Health Insurance Marketplace. If you need health insurance, don't worry. Certified local navigators can help you enroll in a quality health plan, and you might even qualify for financial help. Open enrollment is your chance to find the right health insurance plan that fits your needs and budget. Reach out to a certified local navigator at getcoveredillinois.gov. Your health coverage starts here. Open enrollment ends January 15th.
Save big money on Clearview Cabinetry. Clearview Cabinetry starts as a kitchen built for now and grows with you as life changes. It's flexible by design with full access cabinet construction, so you can go from doors to drawers for storage that works when you need it. Explore Clearview's cabinet options in store and on Menards.com and save big money today. Big buys, big savings. Check out more of our great deals going on now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, Tandy in Stone Country. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and services you need fast from the professional car people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. With another ski weekend upon us, we're seeing our better conditions, more trails, more of that cold snowmaking weather that ski areas rely on. And if you haven't been on the slopes for a couple of weeks, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Starting off at Alpine Valley, Wisconsin, 20 trails of machine group snow and day and night skiing. Granite Peak riding into the nighttime as well. They have 26 trails open. Devil's Head on 13 runs, nighttime terrain there as well. In Michigan, Crystal Mountain riding on 14 runs from 6 lifts. The Highlands now on 10 trails. Plan the perfect winter vacation at Crystal Mountain in northern Michigan. Save up to 25% on select hot lodging dates this winter. Plus, learn how kids 6 and under can sleep, ski, and eat breakfast for free. Book your next winter vacation at crystalmountain.com/hotdates. Get more ski conditions at snowcountry.com. I'm Andy Davis on ESPN 1000.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Under 10 to go in the third quarter, opening drive of the third. With 3 on the play clock, the snap is back. Love going to throw the slant. It is caught. Wicks plows into the end zone for the touchdown. Off the left hash, inside the numbers. It's pitch and catch on the opening drive of the third. 12-yard strike, second touchdown throw to Wicks. This one on third down, and the Packers extend their lead 13-6.
And that would be all that the Green Bay Packers ultimately needed as they beat the Bears 17-9 today to clinch a spot in the playoffs. I'm Jeff Meller along with Pat the Designer, Jason McKee heading back from Lambeau Field as well, joining us, taking your calls, 312-332-3776. As J-Mac mentioned, Dontavian Wicks, the 7th rounder. Also, Bo Melton Dontavian Wicks is the 5th rounder. Bo Melton is the 7th rounder who had himself yet another day for the second consecutive week off of the practice squad to basically, for the last 30 years, you get introduced to a new Green Bay Packers wide receiver that seems like they're going to torment you year after year after year. It doesn't matter, J-Mac. I can go back Sterling Sharp, Robert Brooks, James Jones. I mean, it's like there's Jordy Nelson. Help me out here. There's so many we could name. Greg Jennings.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. I mean,
please stop naming. Jeff, please stop naming. Please.
Christian Watson.
I'm a little, it's sore. It's like rubbing salt in the wound right now. We're a little upset.
And now Bears fans, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, and Bo Melton. And Jaden Reed. Keep adding them to the mix. There's a never-ending supply of wide receivers in Green Bay. All right.
J-Mac said all right.
Bears fans are...
All right, Jeff. Enough, man.
Yes, enough.
Last show of the year.
We're all annoyed. Bears fans are annoyed. Feel free to check in with us here. Steve is heading back from Lambeau, or are you up in Lambeau? Steve, you're on the post-game show.
On our way back.
All right, man.
Hit Milwaukee.
What's going on, Steve?
Wave hi to J-Mac when you see him on the road driving back, bud.
Full mic.
I hope his eyes are on the road. We don't have to crash.
I'm riding, man. I don't
know how you could run that season back with Fields. I mean, that was just pathetic. They got to go in a different direction.
So, Steve, you're saying something that a lot of Bears fans feel. You're not the only one, of course. And I know there's frustration because a lot of people feel like Fields is capable of a lot. And I don't know. What are they going to do at this point? This game this week certainly has been the consistency that we've seen. Yeah. The inconsistency, that is. Consistently inconsistent from Justin Fields. We got back to this, but J-Mac just told you. There was rarely anybody open for him to fire to during today's game, and he had one of the best seats in the house on the sidelines. So, it's really tough. The Bears may have botched the development of Justin Fields, and they may have no choice but to move in a different direction because I don't know if you can come back with Matt Eberflus and then a new OC and then pair them with Justin Fields and somehow think that that's going to be giving you a great shot at future success.
I think here's the tough part, right? This is what irritates me is with Mitch Trubisky, right? We knew. Everybody, for the most part, there's still some people that are out there holding the jury out. But for the most part, we knew because it got to a point where Mitch was throwing bad passes. With Rex Grossman, we knew. With Jay Cutler, we knew because these guys were throwing bad passes. I just wish you would let the guy throw. Like, I don't understand what the mindset is of we're down in a game in the fourth quarter. At this point, it's 17-9, and we don't want to throw the football. We're going to continue to run. In the second half alone, he threw 7 passes. Guess what, guys? All of them were in the fourth quarter because he didn't throw the football at all in the third. Not one pass in the third quarter. Like, I feel like most Bears fans would feel a lot better about making a decision on Justin if we saw Justin do something. But if you look at the numbers where you actually told him to throw the ball, he was 11 for 16. He dropped back 16 times. He dropped back probably 25 times in total. Got sacked some, broken plays, got out of there on some of them, got taken backward some of them. But, like, for most Bears fans, the reason that there's a question mark on Justin Fields is because, like, why are we passing 16 times in a game? We're down in the fourth quarter.
Any thoughts, J-Mac, on that?
Yeah, it's just, man, it's tough, and I talked about, receivers not open. The protection wasn't really good. Get the offensive line. They couldn't pass off stunts and twists from the defensive line. Green Bay ran a lot of stunts and twists. They were able to get home to Justin. You end up with 3 field goals, no touchdowns. You just didn't play well as a whole. You've got to attempt to put the ball in the air. But at the same time, when you did, Justin was getting teed off on.
Yeah. And it certainly didn't help. Obviously, the offensive line was banged up and injured.
Yeah.
Dan Feeney as your center was, listen, we lament and talk about how problematic it has been all year with Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair, and Dan Feeney has been a step down from that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was not set up for, Justin Fields to really have a successful day passing the ball in all likelihood, but it continues to be just another concerning way for the season to conclude, especially when you start the season with a loss to the Packers the way you do.
Yeah.
And then you finish the season with this loss to the Packers, and ultimately you end up having very little clarity about what Justin Fields is. And this was supposed to be the year that you had that one way or the other. And Bears fans, I think, are very disappointed because a lot of them feel like they weren't given a fair chance to evaluate. And I get and understand that frustration. Let's go to Marty, who's in Buffalo Grove. Hey, Marty.
Marty.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's going on, Marty?
Been better.
Thanks for accepting.
Hey, Marty, how you
my
doing?
call. Yeah, I was going to go to the game with my sons today, and after seeing that debacle, I'm kind of glad we didn't go. But basically, I listened to your radio show the entire time, and in your past show, right before you guys are being very honest and whatever. And in the past show, it seems like somebody might have talked to those announcers because they're not being honest about really the game and what happened. And somebody had called in and mentioned that there was a 4-man rush the entire game, and I said that to my sons as we were watching the game, and no adjustments, and therefore no pressure on Jordan Love, which is true. He could have got a suntan back there. Everybody's praising Jordan Love and how great he is until he plays a good team and they get pressure on him. So talking about adjustments, and your prior announcer said we should keep everybody. I mean, his answer to that about a 4-man rush was that, the offense wasn't doing that well, and we only scored 9 points instead of addressing, the question. So I was very, very disappointed with that conversation, and I listened.
Well, Marty,
to you guys.
I listen, and you're referring to Jurko, who thinks that Matt Eberflus should be brought back and I think Jurko has defended his position very well. Like he says, Ryan Poles is the one who chose to go about the rebuild in the fashion that he did.
Yeah. And
so when you're looking at Matt Eberflus as a whole, Jurko, who played for over a decade in the NFL and knows when he sees, a improvement in culture from a team, Jurko has seen that, in his opinion, from Matt Eberflus and this defense in particular. And maybe, just maybe, Jurko has a little bit of a bias when he sees a good defense being put together as a former defensive tackle. But listen, you can win multiple ways in the NFL. And I think he's just trying to be fair in the sense that if you're going to bring back Ryan Poles, he believes that the improvement the team has shown over the last, second half of the season, he believes you should also then bring back Matt Eberflus. Eberflus should not be made the scapegoat in this scenario. Where I differ is I don't necessarily want to say, I just have a hard time wrapping my mind around how Matt Eberflus is going to be the guy if you're choosing to pick a different quarterback. That's where I'm at. And so, I want to give everybody the opportunity to sound off. And so let's not get bogged down by what happened on the previous show. Feel free to call the previous show in the future.
Right. I just think even with that, though, right, like even when you talk about, like if Dan Campbell's the head coach of this team, we're never sitting here questioning the aggressiveness of our team.
Well,
we're never sitting here questioning how much we're actually going out there. Like, too many times this season, we're sitting here having the same conversation we had week 1.
The one thing I'll say, though, Pat, is everything's great and aggressive when you're winning. However, last week, Dan Campbell was aggressive to a fault, going for 2 points when they had been penalized. Whether the penalty was fair or not, you shouldn't be attempting to go for 2 from the 7-yard line.
But you know what? My coach is consistent. My coach is going out there and he's got his system that is always going to be consistent. In 17 games this year, I can't say Matt Eberflus is consistent with anything.
I think coaches they're inconsistent all over the place. I don't think any guy's got some philosophy that they adhere to 100% of the time. And listen, the Lions, they won today, but they lost Sam Laporta in the process when they were basically I don't know what they were truly playing for today. I mean, being aggressive, it's nice to pat people on the back, J-Mac, and say congratulations. Everyone loves aggressiveness when you're winning football games.
Right. Yeah, when it works. Yeah, you like the aggressive call when you convert. You like the aggressive call when you get the 2-point conversion. You like the aggressive call when you score. But when it fails, hindsight's 20/20. Now we get to talk about how bad of a call or how too aggressive you were. So at the end of the day, it's I commend Coach Flus on being able to, keep those guys bought in, to keep that chemistry in the locker room, because we know how it went to start the season. 0-4, coach is getting fired.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a disaster. So I give him credit for being able to, to ride the ship and to put a productive product out there, to have somewhat of a win streak, all right? But we see the inconsistency, right, in terms of the wins and losses, and it's a results-based business. And if you're not winning consistently, well, then there's going to be change, and that's how, it's sad, but that's how the NFL is judged. That's how players is judged. That's how coaches is judged. That's how GMs is judged. It's been like that since the start of the NFL, and it will never change. It's a results-based business, and that's what they're going to judge you on.
312-332-3776. That's J-Mac. I'm Jeff Miller, Pat the Designer, taking your calls on the Postgame Show.
ESPN Chicago. Barstool Big Cat on the Waddle and Sylvie Show on ESPN Chicago. Now Wednesdays at 4. Brought to you by Curcio Law Offices.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam Abdallah. The NFL regular season is wrapping up, but there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. The app is safe and it's easy to use. There are so many ways to bet, like live same-game parlays. You can find bets in the new Explore tab, or you can make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays. And the best part about FanDuel is when you win, you get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/Abdallah, ABDALLA, to get signed up today. That's FanDuel.com/Abdallah, ABDALLA. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or over and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Apt, your #1 destination for the home, has everything you need to start your New Year's resolutions. Explore their collection of smartwatches and fitness trackers. Whatever your goal, you'll be able to track your progress. Create the perfect home gym with their selection of treadmills, ellipticals, and exercise bikes. And don't forget the small kitchen appliances like a juicer or blender for that post-workout protein shake for free local delivery, professional installation, and complete satisfaction. Shop where I shop at Apt, pleasing people since 1936. next.
Hi, this is Dave Musial, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. For over 50 years, Four Seasons has been Chicagoland's trusted local experts. Clogged toilet? Call Four Seasons. No heat? Call Four Seasons. Electrical problems? Call Four Seasons. With over 20,000 five-star reviews and an A+ rating for the Better Business Bureau, Four Seasons is Chicagoland's trusted local experts.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
When your cat's to me, then your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise the glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
When the online trends keep getting worse,
And you lost your keys in the metaverse.
Now your right swipe just went left on you.
you tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do?
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
Creating more space for your family or updating your kitchen? Design First Builders is here to turn your vision into reality. As a custom design build firm, their team of experts seamlessly collaborates with you from the initial concept to the finishing touches. They handle every step of your remodeling project. Schedule your free consultation at designfirstbuilders.com or call 630-250-7777. Design First Builders believe in more than just starting projects. They believe in starting lasting relationships. Designfirstbuilders.com.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Miller, and Pat the Designer.
Everybody's feisty tonight. Bears conclude their season, wrap it up at 7-10, and the Packers are heading to the playoffs with a win at Lambeau Field on the frozen tundra at the expense of the Bears. I will say this. Enough of the taking the ball when you win a coin toss. Almost every team in the league defers. And the whole reason you do this, Matt Eberflus, is because it is the one advantage you might have where you can manipulate it so that you could potentially get an extra possession. Now, it's not always going to fall in your favor. However, it's the only chance you have of doing it. If you win the coin toss and you defer. And what happened? Well, you know what? You took the ball to try and set some sort of ridiculous tone, which, by the way, your defense has been the one that's been setting the tone for your team for the most part for the last part of the season. But what happens? Well, you know what? The Packers had the ball with under 2 minutes to go, and if they hadn't botched their own field goal situation, they would have executed the old 2-for-1 to perfection because you chose to let them have that opportunity. Stop taking the ball. Start deferring to the second half. It is the only opportunity if you win the coin toss where you can actually create a mathematical extra possession in your favor. It's the only way you can do it. Now, you don't have the chance at it if you lose the coin toss, but that's heck. That's what a coin toss is there for, right? 50-50. But when you willingly take the ball, you are foregoing that opportunity to have an advantage. I digress. Anyway, sorry.
Coin toss. So you were fired up play one.
I just like
you were fired up before we even got into the game.
It's one of those things where, yeah, it really was because like I'm fine with it. Fine, you want to do it one time in the middle of the season because things have gone awry. I get it, but when you continually do it over and over again, you're kind of asking for trouble. Let's go to Dave, who's in Wisconsin. Dave, you're on with Jason McKee, Pat the Designer, and Meller. What's up, bud?
How you doing?
What's going on, Dave?
How you doing?
What's going on, Dave?
You tell us, Dave-o.
Oh.
Hey, Dave.
Oh, yeah, how you doing? How you doing?
All right, we're moving on. We don't have time, Dave. Folks, I'm going to cut it off at the pass. We appreciate everybody.
He's a Packers fan.
Yeah, that must be it.
We're not doing good, Dave, because we're not feeling good right now. He's a Packers fan. Good joke. We're not feeling good, Dave. It's not okay. We understand we came to Lambeau. We got the same result that we've had. We're not okay, Dave, okay?
I don't know if Dave was a Packers fan or if he was just 150.
Quick PSA for
He's in Wisconsin. He's in Wisconsin.
Quick PSA for all the listeners out there. We're doing fine, as good as we can be. We're here on the radio talking to you, so just jump right into your point. Feel free. Let's try Cornell, who's on the west side. Cornell, go ahead, my man. What's up?
What's up, Cornell?
Sorry, guys, but it's actually Cordell.
Cordell, what's going on? What's going on, man?
Yeah. How you doing?
You know what? I'm sick of this.
Okay, but listen. J-Mac there?
He's right here. Listen.
J-Mac's on.
Hey,
Yeah,
J-Mac,
you
couldn't have
I'm
been
here, man.
so more in my head, brother. I've said the same thing, and I said it today because I drive Lyft or whatever. And, I have the conversations about the Bears and the Bears team, the seasons or whatever. We really haven't had a quarterback where any one of our younger quarterbacks or a quarterback alone, period, can actually learn something from, right? And we actually I feel like we always criticize Justin. And forgive me, I love Justin, but I am critical when he turns the ball over and when he holds it too long. But, we really haven't given him nothing to surround him with. Now, as a fan, I'm just going to be a fan because I love my Bears. Whichever direction they decide to go in, I'm okay with it, whether we keep Fields, Eberflus, with all that stuff that's going on, it's finna go on in Hallis Hall. I just want it to be a great decision for the Bears and them to actually become that team that I know that they can become. I'm not going to be critical. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, this guy needs to go. It's not my decision.
Yeah.
It's up to the front office.
We get you, Cordell. The good thing is, right, J-Mac, is that Ryan Poles has put himself in a very good position with what he's done in trading picks.
Yeah, he has. And I think whatever direction they're going, right? So let's say, and I'm not saying they're going to do this, I don't know. But let's say they end up trading Fields, you draft a young quarterback. I still think, even though if they were to draft a young quarterback, I think you still bring in a veteran, just so that way it can accelerate the learning process or the learning curve for that young rookie who comes in here. I think that's invaluable. I know when I was a rookie, I had an opportunity to be in a running back room that had a Dorsey Levens, that had a Deuce Staley, that had a Brian Mitchell when I was with the Philadelphia Eagles. And Deuce Staley, took me under his wing, and that really aided in my development. And I owe those guys a lot because they taught me how to be a pro as an undrafted free agent. And if I didn't have those guys, being able to ask them questions, being able to see how they went about practice and how they, went about their workouts and how they watched film, then I wouldn't have been able to have a long career. So I think that when you have that type of mentor, that type of veteran that you can lean on, it accelerates the learning curve, but also makes you a better player, regardless of position. Now we're talking about quarterback, but regardless of all positions, that's invaluable for a young rookie coming into the NFL.
All right, now listen. This we got 4 minutes left in here. Let's go full meathead moment right here, right? Full meathead. Everybody, prepare yourselves. I'm going all in. To J-Mac's point. To J-Mac's point. Say you draft Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. Do you go out and get a quarterback that has been fairly successful in this NFL, who is probably going to be cut by his team at the end of this season and has $37 million coming his way because, he's already paid? Do you see if you can get him on a little team-friendly deal? Talk about Russell Wilson, of course. And you actually have a veteran quarterback who's been successful mentoring a young quarterback who comes in. This full meathead moment. I'm playing Madden right now. I know it doesn't. It sounds crazy, but not that crazy.
The one thing I'll say, J-Mac, to what Pat said is you have to ask the question, is Russell Wilson willing to be one of those good veterans, right?
Yeah.
That's the only rep you have to wonder about with Russell Wilson is he going to come in here and sabotage a quarterback room with a young quarterback thinking he should be the guy anyway, right? I don't know. What do you think, J-Mac?
Yeah, say it again, Jeff. I'm sorry.
Just like, is Russell Wilson the type of guy you could trust to bring in as a veteran leader to help usher a younger QB, a guy who's a rookie, in this league? Or would you be fearful that if you brought him in, he'd still be all about, Russ? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, I think, he's obviously a competitive guy. That's why he's had a successful career thus far in the NFL. I think he wants to be a starter. He wants to be a number 1. But I'm not going to say – I don't know Russ personally, so I can't say I know his personality. But I think he would be willing to aid in the development of another quarterback. You know what I mean? I think he would have that type of relationship with another quarterback in that room and try to teach them, teach them the ropes and stuff like that. Because I'm sure when he came into the league, I've got to go back and –
Matt Flynn. It was Matt Flynn.
Yeah, Matt Flynn.
Okay, Matt Flynn. Well, I mean, I'm sure –
Wait a minute. Hold on now.
Easy. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like it's when you like the thing is in the NFL, you want to pay it forward. So when you have I know when I had young running backs come into our running back room, Matt Forte being one of them, I took him under my wing. Matt's still like a little brother to me. He had a great career, But the thing about Matt is Matt came in, he was mature. He carried himself like a pro. As soon as day one and when he set foot in our meeting room, he knew the playbook like the back of his hand. He applied himself because he wanted it to be great. But he had veterans like myself and Adrian Peterson. We had a great running back coach by the name of Tim Spencer who helped aided in that process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think Russell Wilson has that type of personality where, if you're my teammate, I'm going to do all I can to help you. So if I see something as a quarterback, and I know you're a young quarterback, I'm going to share knowledge. I'm going to share info that way, because the better we are as a team, the better it is for everybody. So I'm not going to withhold information that can help aid in your development. I'm going to pass it along.
Well,
and I think Russell Wilson has that type of personality.
I think about even the dude that kicked the crap out of us for 10 years straight, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like more than 10 years, but still. In Aaron Rodgers, right? Brett Favre didn't teach him, but he got to watch.
Yeah.
You got to see how does this guy prepare? How does this guy go about his day of being a starter? How does he get ready for these games? How do I not throw interceptions like he did?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You get to actually see that in action.
Firsthand. No, that there's definitely there's something to that. How about Joe Flacco? You don't
Not
like Joe
behind this
Flacco?
offensive line.
Listen,
I've been
can we
in the
fix
locker
a
room
lot
with Joe
first?
Flacco. And I've been in the locker room with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's a great leader.
Yeah.
He works his tail off.
Yeah.
He's always in shape. You see that now. He's came off the couch throwing touchdowns. And I know Joe Flacco would be a guy, and he has been in situations like that already, to where, towards the end of his career, he was in meeting rooms with young quarterbacks, and Joe Flacco's a guy that will aid in that development, that will help, that will, try to accelerate the growth and development of a young quarterback and share information, being a good teammate, being a good veteran.
Let's go to Chase, who's on the south side. What's going on, Chase?
Hey, what's happening, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Hey,
Man, hey, can I get a 2-minute rant where I could just go off?
Go
Please?
off, Chase.
Go off, Chase. No swearing.
Sound off, Chase.
Mella, you stole my point, man. I was just about to mention that is why every time the Bears win the coin toss, he don't defer. It's like the minute he does that, I'm already annoyed already. Because I already know what's going to happen because he, okay, if they had got the ball and they scored a touchdown and, okay, I wouldn't have cared. But the fact of the matter is it came back to bite him, and it bit him several times, and I'm just so sick and tired of it. I mean, first of all, the offensive coordinator, Gesty, I'm sorry, he is not good at calling plays. I don't understand why does he not call bootleg. You see that you obviously had an issue in the interior. You didn't have a center. Your right guard was out. Obviously, there was a protection issue. So what do? You run draw plays. You bootleg. Why are you running 5-step drop when you see that your quarterback they're not protecting well? I don't understand. Why didn't he call more draw plays? Why didn't he move the pocket? It's like he doesn't do anything to stand out. The coaching staff is terrible. I just don't understand the game plan. And then you know what? Listen, if they had lost this game 28-27, and I don't think many fans would have been upset. If this was a game against the Philadelphia Eagles or the Giants, I don't think fans would be as annoyed. I think people are annoyed. Why a lot of us are annoyed is because who we're playing against and how we played. This is one of those losses where which loss is the worst of the season? You can equate to this. I would say this. I think this loss is the worst of the year. I really do believe that. I think this is the worst because given the fact of all the build-up, and now you lose, you get swept by the division, and then now they're going to sit back and sit there and say, we're in the playoffs, and they can rub it in our faces. I mean, now we still got questions at quarterback. We got questions at coaching. I mean, the team came out unprepared. You could see it. If you watch the game, you can see they were not prepared to play. The defense came out flat. The offense, there was no game plan. There was no scheme. It just looked like there was no sense of urgency at all. If you watch that game, you can see that there was no game plan at all. It was a horrible game plan from the start to the finish. And this reminds me of the first game of the season.
Yeah, we get it, Chase. No, I appreciate it. I got to spring in. We got full phone lines here. I want to get everybody an opportunity here to weigh in. But you're not wrong, Chase. It definitely is frustrating. I thought we were trending in the right direction. It's a tough way to close out the season. But maybe, just maybe, there is a bright spot to losing to the Packers. I'll share what that is, what that could be with you next.
The new home of the Bears. The Wolverines, the Huskies, both survived their semifinal classics on New Year's Day.
They have done it!
But only one can be national champion. Michigan, Washington, the College Football Playoff National Championship, tomorrow night at 8 on ESPN Chicago.
Bowl season brought to you by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
The Chicago RV Show is back. Friday, January 5th through Sunday the 7th at the Schaumburg Convention Center. Come see all the latest and greatest makes and models from the nation's top manufacturers. Register to win a Wolf Pup travel trailer. See the latest and greatest in motor homes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and B-vans. Saturday and Sunday, it's all at the Chicago RV Show. Friday, January 5th through Sunday the 7th at the Schaumburg Convention Center. Visit RVSupershows.com.
It's open enrollment for the ACA Health Insurance Marketplace. If you need health insurance, certified local navigators can help you enroll in a quality health plan, and you could qualify for financial help. GetCoveredIllinois.gov. Your health coverage starts here. Open enrollment ends January 15th.
Hey, this is Chauncey. For 25 years, I've been your host of Chauncey's Great Outdoors. Clever name, huh? I came up with it, and I stand by it. Chauncey's Great Outdoors, Saturday morning from 6 to 7 on ESPN Chicago.
Your Bears Monday on ESPN Chicago can only end one way, with a bear. Miller Lite invites you to a live broadcast, Bears Night in Chicago. Tomorrow night from 6 to 8, Bears linebacker TJ Edwards joins Bleck and Abdallah at Fire Bar and Grill in Crystal Lake. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Tomorrow night, 6 to 8, Fire Bar and Grill in Crystal Lake. TJ Edwards joins Bleck and Abdallah. Please drink responsibly.
If you've been involved in an accident, yeah, you're going to have questions, you're going to have bills, and you're going to have medical issues. But you will also have me. I'm attorney Tony Ivoni. Visit me at calltony.com or call 708-400-0000. You don't have to struggle alone against the insurance company. I'm here to fight for you. Visit calltony.com or call me at 708-4-MILLION, because you deserve better.
Long day. Time to charge up.
Hey, just like my delivery truck.
Even kids know to keep business moving forward, it's time to make the switch to electric vehicles. Whether you have one van or a whole fleet of trucks, resources are available to help you make the changes that make sense.
Let's go.
Beep, beep.
Go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Miller, and Pat the Designer on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Bears lose to the Packers at Lambeau Field. They closed the season at 7-10. Packers 9-8, and they're going to the playoffs. The good news for the Bears, if you want to look at it optimistically, they will be picking 1st and 9th in the draft if they choose to hold on to both those picks and make the selections. Or, of course, they'll have the opportunity to trade either of them as well for more assets if they'd like to go in that direction. I will say, I mentioned it as we were breaking, I do believe this could be the type of game that Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren need to see things clearly. Yeah. Because it could have been very easy had the Bears won this game, closed the season with 6 wins and their final 8, and it would have been potentially easy to say, you know what, everything is swell. And of course, it would have depended on how they would have won that game. But I do think this shows you that, unfortunately, Bears fans, and you can harp on, the game plan, but Jordan Love is clearly a good quarterback. Now, I don't know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I hope he won't be for our sake. But nevertheless, he's clearly a good quarterback. And I think you have to find out if you're going to beat the Packers in the future, you're hopefully going to have a quarterback who can go toe-to-toe with Jordan Love. I mean, I think you need to see this game clearly for what it is, personally.
Yeah, Jordan Love, I mean, listen, he's played well, and this was a game that you felt like you had a lot of things matched up against him. If you look through the season, right, hasn't been a ton of pressure in his face. There hasn't been a lot of teams that have been able to really force him to make some tough throws. You thought the Bears defense would be one of those teams today. It was not. So kudos to that offensive line for holding off the pass rush of the Chicago Bears. That's been a decent pass rush over here. I stand with that point that you just made because I think it still shows you how many holes are left in this team in today's game. I left last game going, maybe Javon Dexter is the answer at 3 technique. Maybe if he comes out and he gets another, 1 sack and keeps pressure up the middle, maybe he is the answer at 3 technique. Nope, go find your 3 technique, right? I left, like looking at the offensive side of the ball, how the offense is played. Maybe we don't need to address more at the running back position. Maybe we don't need, maybe we've got some of these pieces on the offensive line that we can feel great about. Nope. We still need to address these things in the draft. So I do think that there's some clarity from what we saw in today's game. It just sucks about who it went up against.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, and it goes back to you're not going to be able to find all your answers, right, in the draft. You're not going to be able to fill every hole via the draft. It goes back to development, something that we've been talking about all along, right? Roschon Johnson next year, the development, how can we develop him into being an every down back? Development, even the guys who have bigger roles, Khalil Herbert, how can he develop into a better pass protector? How can we develop Tyler Scott into a receiver that can contribute? You know what I'm saying? It's you still have to develop what you have. And, them getting this experience, I know it's hard, but them, getting experience right now and, they still have to learn how to win. And that's another thing. So with the losses, you gain something because you gain experience, right? You never lose, you learn. So what are we learning from these losses?
That is the question. Let's try Kenny, who's in Dallas. Kenny, you're on with Pat the Designer, Jeff Meller, and Jason McHugh. What's up?
What's up, Meller? What's up, Pat?
What's going on, Kenny?
How we doing, boys?
All right.
You know what?
Hey, Kenny, how are you?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay.
Hey, back. I was supposed to not ask you that. How you feeling?
That's okay.
You all right, Kenny? What's going on?
I'm gonna give you a virtual hug.
Yeah.
Hey, so first off,
yeah, we need it, man. Everybody, we all need it.
Absolutely. Hey, we all need it all the way through all parts of life. There's no question. If that Marty guy's listening, that he called in a little bit ago, always take your kid to any game. It doesn't matter if we're going to lose, whatever. Always take your kid to a game. Anyway, so we're moving on. So, guys, I think that we have a great opportunity for Kevin and Brian to go big picture on this offseason because we got to pull back and look back. One thing that I want any one of y'all to it's an observation, but I want to hear what you think. Everybody talked about how good the Eberflus defense was, and J-Mac, you mentioned this a little bit ago. The Eberflus defense got good when Montez Sweat got in our lineup. That's when the defense changed. Right? And then, when we go to the offense, there's no slant passes. There's no hot routes. There's no nothing. And J-Mac, you elaborate on this as much as you want. When somebody tells me that we can't change an offense and an offensive coordinator from one year to the next, whether or not Getsy's the guy, to me, he's not the guy. Look at the Ravens. They brought in Todd Monken. Obviously, he's a great offensive coordinator at Georgia. And where are the Ravens? They're the number one seed in the AFC with the rookie offensive coordinator.
Well,
with a dual threat quarterback.
Kenny, let's not ignore the fact hold on, Kenny, I'll let you have your piece, but let's not ignore the fact that they also had a quarterback who's won an MVP in the league before Todd Monken even got there.
Okay, so all right, so let me take a step back. And I'm with you, Meller, and we've had great conversations before. Who was his offensive coordinator that made him throw 37 touchdown passes in 2019
Greg
and made
Roman.
him the NFL MVP?
Greg Roman.
Yeah. So let's bring him in.
I'd be interested in that. I've said that a while.
Because hold on, let's go back. Let's go back. He took Kaepernick to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He made Alex Smith an above-average quarterback. He took Tyrod Taylor throwing 3,200 and 3,300 yards and took one of those years at the Giants to a Pro Bowl.
The toughest part about Greg Roman is going to be Jim Harbaugh may come back to the NFL, and he's probably going to go get his guy. I appreciate the call, Kenny. Like that. Like that's the biggest difficulty you're going to have.
Kenny, that's a great point.
Yeah.
And, the point that Kenny makes, right, and he makes a great point. But the common denominator with all those offensive coordinators, right, all of them, well, at least the good ones, what do? They devise a scheme that's geared toward their quarterback skill set, right? Yeah. They try to make it as quarterback friendly as you can. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, when things aren't working, right, they now to make adjustments to their own system, right? If you just take somebody else's system, right, and you try to bring it over and you try to force somebody to play in a system that you took from somebody else and you don't know how to make adjustments, well, then you're not going to get the results. But when you're an elite offensive coordinator and you can take a system and tailor it towards your quarterback, make it quarterback friendly, and then when you aren't having the success, you can make those adjustments so that way your quarterback can get back on track making plays, well, then that's when you know you have an elite coordinator.
That's Jason McKee. I'm Jeff Meller, Pat the Designer. We're taking your calls here till 10 o'clock. The post-game show back in 2 minutes on ESPN 1000.
ESPN Chicago.
Get big savings on your bathroom update at Menards. We have everything you need to create the bathroom of your dreams with Sterling tubs and showers that fit your style and your budget. Like the Sterling Ensemble Medley Tub and Shower. Its tongue and groove interlocking joints form a seamless appearance and make installation quick and easy. Its durable high gloss finish provides lasting beauty. Get yours today for $699.99. Big buys, big savings. Right now at Menards. Price is good through January 14th.
Save big money at Menards.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam Abdallah. The NFL regular season is wrapping up, but there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. The app is safe and it's easy to use. There are so many ways to bet, like live same-game parlays. You can find bets in the new Explore tab, or you can make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays. And the best part about FanDuel is when you win, you get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/Abdallah, ABDALLA, to get signed up today. That's FanDuel.com/Abdallah, ABDALLA. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or over and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey friends, it's Tom Waddle, and I drive a Hawk. The New Year's sales event is going on all month at hawkauto.com. Choose from Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Subaru, Cadillac, Mazda, Volkswagen, and Nissan models, and a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles. Get New Year's savings with 0% financing for 60 months or make no payments for 90 days. Find your next car at hawkauto.com and drive what I drive. Drive a Hawk.
hawkauto.com.
On select models with approved credit.
Live from the Old National Bank State Street studio.
This is WMVP WSHE HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Back with you, talking about the Bears season finale, a loss to the Packers at Lambeau Field. They lose 17-9, a game where they failed to score a touchdown. I know we've talked a little bit about the lack of a cohesive game plan, both not on offense and defense. And the truth is, I do wonder, Jalen Johnson was inactive. He had that shoulder injury that he was dealing with. So you do wonder, was that something that Matt Eberflus took into account? Maybe that's why we saw less pressure being thrown at the Packers. Maybe he was a little more concerned about his secondary holding up without his top corner. That is a possibility. I just think that that reinforces, hopefully, that Jalen Johnson will be brought back at least on the franchise tag. But it would certainly be better for both sides, I think, if they could get a long-term deal done. So I'm hopeful that that can be the case because, again, Jordan Love, I mean, they only scored 17 points, but they certainly had opportunities. They missed a couple of field goal. Well, they missed one. There was another one where they kind of they pissed it away because at the end of the half they didn't get out of bounds. So it felt like the Packers could have done a little more against the Bears too. They left a little out there on the field. So the Bears, as you mentioned, Pat, seems like they've still got a long way to go. As Jason McKee joins us as well, he's on his way back from Lambeau Field. Let's keep rolling with your calls. Let's try Thor, who's in Homer Glen. What's going on, Thor?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Bring the hammer, Thor.
Nice.
I tried to bring the hammer.
Hey, yo. What's going on, Thor?
Hey, so 2 points real quick. The coaching was atrocious today. We didn't bring the pressure. And, I mean, Johnson being out, it happens. You get injuries. You got to feel like rebound from that, still bring some pressure. You had Sweat, didn't do much today, but we didn't blitz.
Yeah.
And I listen to these games on the radio. So I don't watch the games. I just listen to them on the radio.
Yeah.
But we didn't blitz today. And then the other thing I want to hear you guys talk about, and I'll hang up after this, but what if we keep Fields, save some money, use our drafts? We have 2 good draft picks this year.
1 and 9.
Yeah, we do now.
And then build a team and then go get a veteran quarterback. I mean, in 2 years, just some veteran quarterbacks coming out of contract.
We'll address it, Thor. I'll give J-Mac the first opportunity to react to that. Go ahead, J-Mac.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? I'm not the GM. You know, I just like the fact that we're set up to make this team better. And it's a better setup than we've had in a long time, if not ever. I mean, we've never had back-to-back years where we had the number 1 pick, and you look what he did last year. You bring in a true number 1 receiver, and DJ Moore, you trade the pick, you still get Darnell Wright. You bring in a lot of good pieces, you know, via the draft. Guys who still need help developing, but at the same time, guys who have played great at times. You know, Terrell Smith has come in and contributed. Tyreek Stevenson has played well. Darnell Wright's been that key cog at right tackle that you wanted. So, you know, it's all in his. He has the cards to do whatever he wants. And, you know, I just hope he continues to make the right decision and to make sure that arrow is pointing up. So I wouldn't be opposed to keeping Justin Fields. The main thing is if we do, we got to bring in, you know, receivers to help him. You got to bring in more weapons, but you also have to develop what you have. And in terms of development we have, I'm talking about Tyler Scott. I don't know, you know, Velus Jones, what his status will be. You've got DJ Moore, you've got Cole Kmet, but I mean, that's pretty much it. When you look at offensive threats, it's mainly you're only going to look at DJ Moore and Cole Kmet if you're a defensive coordinator. That's all you're looking at. So if they got to do something to address that via the draft, but also continuing to develop what you have.
I feel like our olive branch to everyone should be if you're not a Justin Fields guy or you're not a Caleb Williams guy, you should 110% be a Ryan Poles guy.
Yes.
And maybe not be a Luke Getsy guy. I don't know where we're at on that. But like, I think that's kind of where Bears fans, if we're doing the Venn diagram thing, that's where a lot of us overlap at, right? Because I trust that Ryan Poles will go out there and make the right decision at whatever he's done because he's given me no reason to say that he won't. In 2 years, the worst decision he's made is Chase Claypool trading that second-round pick, but he makes up for it with trading another second-round pick and getting you Montez Sweat, who gave you 6 sacks in a Chicago Bears uniform in a half a season. That's pretty good to go out there and be able to still have the cojones to go, you know what? I know I messed that up. Most GMs would be like, I'm not going to do that again. No, Ryan Poles is like, no, there's a good player that we can go get that I believe in. I'm going to stick to my guns and I'm going to go get him. He's going to miss in moments. And I think that this is very much so a situation now where you've seen in 2 years, the hits are a lot more than the misses.
Yeah.
Heck, even in today's game, Tyreek Stevenson forces the fumble.
Listen, this year's draft class, it looks like Ryan Poles, maybe he didn't hit a grand slam, but it looks like he hit probably a 3-run homer, right?
I don't know. This might be a grand slam. You got to find the right player, but like when you go into this draft, you say, what do we have? What do we need? And what is there available? Offensive lineman, defensive lineman, 3 techniques. Lance is like, I found 6 3 techniques already that I would love to see the Bears draft. Like, there's so many wide receivers.
But just reflecting on what he's done in this year's draft from the rookies, the growth we've seen so far, I mean, he really did connect on a lot of his picks.
All the guys that he's already drafted.
Darnell Wright,
Tyreek
Stevenson.
all these guys have contributed this year. I mean, you've got Darnell Wright and Tyreek Stevenson, 2 starters.
Yep.
Terrell Smith has been a starter this year. Javon Dexter's been a starter. Zach Pickens has come in and contributed. Tyler Scott has had his ups and downs, but he's showing you promise. A guy who I keep saying the same D-word, development, who you can develop, who has, a skill set that you can utilize offensively. So, yeah, I think he did, hit, like Jeff said, hit a grand slam. Not a grand slam. What'd you say, Jeff?
I said he might be on a 3-run homer because, like, the only
3-run homer.
The only reason I won't give him a grand slam is because I'm not sure if you've hit a 5 to 8 year Pro Bowler in this draft class. But Darnell Wright very well could be a lockdown right tackle for the next decade. Yeah. And if that turns out to be the case, then you'll be very happy with this draft when all is said and done.
100%.
And again, so you mentioned the Montez Sweat trade. I thought this was interesting from Jim Nantz. Give it a listen, J-Mac. I'll know you'll be hearing it for the first time. He slipped this nugget in during the broadcast on television, and I thought it was just interesting to hear him talk about Montez's Sweat's initial feelings after he was traded.
And, we talked to him. He got traded on Halloween Day. He said, I was scared. I was mad. There were a lot of emotions. But now, after being here, the locker room, what's happened here, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Now, I mean, you may say, okay, what does that reveal? I thought it was interesting when he tells you he was mad and he was scared because he knew he was on the cusp of free agency. But, of course, he was always likely to get the franchise tag. And certainly when he was, someone trades a second-round pick for you, they're going to tag you to ensure that you're going to be on their roster the next season. So you can get his feelings, but again, it's a nice conclusion to hear Jim Nantz relay the thoughts from Montez Sweat in their meetings that initially that's all those feelings have gone away, and he's excited about where he's at. To your point, he closes the season leading the Bears with 6 sacks. He also ends up doing something no other player in the history of the NFL has done, and that is lead 2 franchises in sacks in the same season. He ended up leading the Washington Commanders. He got 6.5.
Yeah.
They had Jonathan Allen. He didn't get any today, so he closes with 5.5. So he led the Commanders in sacks, and then he comes and plays for the Bears. He gets 6 sacks. He ends up leading the Bears in sacks. 12.5 total. I'd say that's a pretty nifty feat by Montez Sweat.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you look at what Sweat's done in 2 halves of a season, it's what some of the top pass rushers in the NFL have done. And I think I said this last week on the post or maybe on the radio. I was on a lot. Thank you. You got Khalil Mack production without trading Khalil Mack draft capital. Like, you got a guy who literally showed up and DBs got better and became Pro Bowlers. I'm speaking on Jalen Johnson. The second that there was pressure from the defense, and we had a caller before who said, I think it was my guy in Dallas. He said that, when you look at kind of what Matt Eberflus has done, how has Matt Eberflus's defense really improved, or was it just the effect of Montez Sweat? I don't know how to tell people this, but, that's what you want. You want elite pass rushers on your team. You don't want to have to blitz, especially in the type of defense that we're running here, a 4-3, 42 nickel type defense. You need to be able to rush 4. You need to be able to just have 4 guys that can go out there and attack the quarterback, because now you've got guys on the back end that can do what we've seen them do, take the football away.
100%. And I can, I understand his sentiment, talking about he was scared and he was upset. We're people. So when you have a bond with the guys in the locker room, you build friendships and relationships, and all of a sudden, you're traded away and those relationships are gone. You're not going to be around those same guys. It's encouraging to hear that he came here and reestablished that relationship and found new brothers, in the locker room. So, I'm thrilled that he's, and he found success as well. So that's very encouraging to hear.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. And the Bears have their cornerstone on defense that they can build around as well. Let's go out to Muhammad, who's in California. What's going on, Mohammed?
Hey, guys. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for making
I really appreciate it. Hey,
What's going on, man?
You know, this head coach, look, Eberflus, I work as an administrator. I understand when you have dysfunction within your house, to keep the ship going and not sink it, you got to have a really strong mind, and you really got to believe in what you're doing, and I applaud him for that. But earlier this week, you're playing your most hated rival. It's not about them. It's about us. Take a stand. When you speak out and say, yeah, we're going to go in there, kick them out of the playoffs, make a stand. Let your guys know that, hey, we're going in there with a bad mindset to get these guys out of the playoffs. And then the second thing is this. Look, Justin Fields cannot throw the ball, catch, and block for himself at the same time. I would even start talking about possibly needing a new left tackle and a right guard along with center. And then my nephew's played ball at USC this year with Caleb Williams. Very talented dude. But guy's not a leader, does not hold himself accountable. And we're talking about generational guy, has a great arm. That's awesome. But what did he do against Notre Dame? Is he able to make these quick decisions like we expect Fields to do?
Yeah.
Why not build around him? Look, all the players who have played the game before are saying every year he's improved. Build around him. Wow. I appreciate you guys taking my call. I got to wake up early for a meeting. Hey, have a happy New Year. You guys take care. Okay?
Thanks for staying up with us, Mohammed. Appreciate it, man. Listen, not everybody is sold on Justin Fields. There's plenty of people who are skeptical of Justin Fields. The one thing I'll say is when people say build around Justin Fields, I get it. My question is, though, I always get back to the business side of things and him being on his 4th year of his rookie deal. Yeah. And it's decision time for Ryan Poles. And for everybody who says, well, build a great roster around him, I agree that would be great. My question is, though, will you have the time to build up that great roster around him before he becomes too expensive? What kind of deal are you going to get Justin Fields to agree to without being completely certain that he is a franchise quarterback? Because you probably don't want to commit $200+ million. And you also don't want to find yourself in a weird Daniel Jones situation where you're like, do we need to franchise him the next year? Do we need to come to an agreement where we're paying him $40 million for 4 years? It's kind of a headache if you're unsure. And so my counterpoint is if you want to build a great roster, it is easier to build a great roster around a quarterback on a rookie contract. Again, admitting that Caleb Williams, listen,
a lot of question marks.
There's a lot of question marks, but a lot of people who do the draft, who cover the draft, J-Mac, there are also lots of people who say Caleb Williams is the most talented quarterback to come out in quite some time.
Yeah, I agree. And I actually went back and I was watching some film on Caleb Williams because I was, one of the guys that's trying to shut Caleb Williams down and saying, oh, we don't need him. But I had to go back and look at, him play because I hadn't had the opportunity to see him play. And I mean, dude's crazy talented. I mean, he's throwing the ball from different platforms and, making tight window throws. He can layer the ball over defenders. Like, he has a lot of talent. He has a skill set that obviously is going to make him, a first-round, quarterback in this league. But the main thing is, you got to do your homework. And the leadership is very important because regardless if you have a quarterback that has an elite skill set, if he's not a leader and a great teammate, guys will not want to play for him.
That's the word.
It doesn't matter how talented he is. Guys are not going to want to play with him or go to war with him or play hard for him.
That is spoken from a man who's been inside the locker room playing for a few quarterbacks back in his day, Jason McKee. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Pat the Designer. We're taking your calls up till 10 on the Postgame show on ESPN 1000.
ESPN Chicago.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or somebody you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Apt, your #1 destination for the home, has everything you need to start your New Year's resolutions. Explore their collection of smartwatches and fitness trackers. Whatever your goal, you'll be able to track your progress. Create the perfect home gym with their selection of treadmills, ellipticals, and exercise bikes. And don't forget the small kitchen appliances like a juicer or blender for that post-workout protein shake for free local delivery. professional installation, and complete satisfaction. Shop where I shop at Apt, pleasing people since 1936.
Whiskey University is doing dry January, and you should too. Guys, it's Carmen. This month for Whiskey U, I'm pouring Ritual Zero Proof Whiskey Alternative. All the oak, smoke, and heat of whiskey, but without the alcohol. Crafted for cocktails, like a whiskey sour, or my favorite, a highball. Ritual lets me enjoy the experience of a great drink and a healthy reset. You can also find Ritual alternatives for tequila, gin, and rum. Pick up a bottle of Ritual Zero Proof at Binny's, Mariano's, and other fine spirits retailers.
Accidents happen. Cars can be fixed and replaced. But what about you? Who's looking out for your damages? I'm attorney Tony Ivoni. No one protects more injured victims than I do. Visit calltony.com or call me at 708-400-0000. Looking out for you is my #1 priority. Visit calltony.com or call me at 708-4-million, because you deserve better.
Hi, this is Dave Musial, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. For over 50 years, Four Seasons has been Chicagoland's trusted local experts. Clogged toilet? Call Four Seasons. No heat? Call Four Seasons. Electrical problems? Call Four Seasons. With over 20,000 five-star reviews and an A+ rating for the Better Business Bureau, Four Seasons is Chicagoland's trusted local experts.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
The Chicago RV Show is back. Friday, January 5th through Sunday the 7th at the Schaumburg Convention Center. Come see all the latest and greatest makes and models from the nation's top manufacturers. Register to win a Wolf Pup travel trailer. See the latest and greatest in motor homes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and B-vans. Saturday and Sunday, it's all at the Chicago RV Show. Friday, January 5th through Sunday the 7th at the Schaumburg Convention Center. Visit rvsupershows.com.
Long day. Time to charge up.
Hey, just like my delivery truck.
Even kids know to keep business moving forward, it's time to make the switch to electric vehicles. Whether you have one van or a whole fleet of trucks, resources are available to help you make the changes that make sense.
Let's go.
Beep, beep.
Go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Bears close out the season with a loss in Lambeau Field. They watched the Packers celebrate a playoff berth at their hands. The Bears fall to 7-10, and that is how they close out the season. The Packers are 9-8, and it looks like they will be heading to Dallas to take on Mike McCarthy in a game where they will try and we'll see what happens. But a lot of some interesting playoff matchups next weekend, to be sure, including the Lions, who will be hosting the Los Angeles Rams. So you also get a Matt Stafford heading back to Detroit to take on Jared Goff. So interesting playoff matchups in the NFC. Unfortunately, the Bears are not a part of that, again, under Matt Eberflus for the second consecutive season. And we shall see what his fate is going to be. I imagine we will learn early next week, although I have heard some folks say that Kevin Warren is very meticulous, and you heard Tracy Wolfson's report. Actually, let me quickly replay it for anyone who missed it early in the show. We replayed it, but Tracy Wolfson had an interesting recap of her conversation with Kevin Warren.
Well, Jim, I had a chance to speak with Bears team president and CEO Kevin Warren before the game, and he told me tomorrow the coaches will have a final meeting with the players, and then he and Ryan Poles will have their end-of-the-year process and recap with the coaches. One thing he stressed to me is the importance of stability. They have a stadium plan, a team plan, and they have a culture plan, and he's been very pleased with what he's seen in terms of the improvement of Justin Fields and this team this year. And Kevin Warren mentioned to me his time with Dick Vermeil and the LA Rams and how it took until year 3 to put it all together. He sees this as a similar situation. Certainly will be interesting to see what the Bears ultimately do, guys.
So Kevin Warren leaving a lot of breadcrumbs for Tracy Wolfson there and for her to relate to the audience. So It seems like the Bears are in all likelihood going to bring Matt Eberflus back, even though it was a bit disappointing today. I don't think it was a disaster to the extent where Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles would have to necessarily completely rethink how they were planning to approach it. So it feels right now to me like Matt Eberflus will be back next year. I would be a little surprised if we find out overnight, tomorrow morning, or even, by Tuesday, because you heard Tracy Wolfson say they're going to have, end of the year meetings. So I'd be surprised if the Bears move off and end up parting ways with Matt Eberflus personally.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know. With Flus, I think with Flus and Justin, there's so much of the same, right? I see so much of the good, and I see so much of the bad. I see literally both sides of the argument. And with Flus, I probably lean on the other side, and it goes back to something our caller Muhammad said. He talked about this game as kind of just another game. Where, and
Eberflus said that multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. This is just another game. We're just going into this game. We're focused on. I said, no, listen. And I get it. Maybe it is a dumb mindset that we as the city of Chicago take on. Maybe it's a dumb mindset that people in Green Bay take on. But you know who showed up today like today was a rivalry game? The Green Bay Packers, a team that had to make the playoffs and beat the Chicago Bears to get in. You don't think Jordan Love relishes in the fact that his first playoff appearance came from beating the Chicago Bears? Your team, I saw 3 people on the field today that looked like they had the mindset of, you know what? I actually don't like the Packers. I actually want to beat this team. Montez Sweat, Tevin Jenkins, and Tyreek Stevenson. Those were 3 guys that literally were like, one, don't touch my quarterback. And on the flip side, I'm at your head just because you're the Packers. Tyreek Stevenson, the play was over and he's pushing old boy out of bounds. And I don't need you to make dumb penalties, but what I need you to show me is that this is not just another game. Because you know what? For the city of Chicago, this wasn't just another game. This was a game where you could have kept the Packers out of the playoffs, going off into the offseason, feeling like you're riding high, and the mentality of your team is, you know what? We left the season giving it all we had. Now we finish out this game 17-9. You don't score a single touchdown, and I'm sitting here talking about the same mindset that this team has had all year. Let's just do enough. In the third quarter, when you're just running the football, trying to pound it into the teeth of this defense and run the clock, you don't feel like you can beat that team. You don't feel like you can beat the Green Bay Packers. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where a turnover might happen. So we're not going to throw the football. We're going to play safe. We're going to hide in the backfield and throw the football 16 times today. And I get it, right? Like the offensive line, there was pressure. There were things that made that difficult. But at the end of the day, you came out with your back foot going the wrong direction, and the Packers said, oh, bet, we're going to keep punching you in the mouth. That's a problem to me mentally from this team that has stemmed the entire season.
That's Pat the designer. And Jason McKee, you're a man who knows what it's like to have a head coach who emphasizes beating the Packers. You were here when Dick Duran left and Lovie Smith came in, and it was his edict, beat the Packers. Talk a little bit about what it was like and the mentality playing the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, and you can sugarcoat it all you want. As a coach, you can play down and say, hey, it's another game. But at the end of the day, it's a rivalry, and the emphasis on today's game, it was a playoff game for us. Yes, we're technically not in the playoffs, but it's a playoff game for us, and we also had the opportunity to knock that team up north out of the playoffs. So there's no, if a coach has to get you up for that game as a player, then you shouldn't be playing. Like, you should have the emotion. You should wear the emotion on your sleeve all week during at practice. And we did that because we knew how much this game meant. We knew if we didn't win, we're going to have to hear about it all offseason.
Yep.
So that's a game that, you can lose other games, but you got to beat the Packers, something that we haven't done in a long time. So I look at it like this, to Pat's point, there was a team on the other sideline. They came out and they understood it was a rivalry. They wanted to come out and to go out there and say, hey, you know what? We continue owning the Bears. They can't beat us, especially here at Lambeau. And we was a team, I just felt like we didn't have the energy or the physicality to come out and to really take this game and to make sure that they didn't make the playoffs.
And by the way, the Packers are now 10-0 under Matt LaFleur as the Packers head coach against the Chicago Bears. Saul is in Connecticut. What's going on, Saul? You're on with J-Mac, Pat the designer, and Jeff Miller. What's up?
So,
hey, 3 points. It's Sal. 3 points. If with Matt Eberflus, if there's not another coach out there, then bring him back, but you need a new offensive coordinator. And if Ron Rivera gets fired, I would make him my defensive coordinator. Second point, Justin Field, his first year had Andy Dalton and Nick Foles to learn from. The third point is I keep hearing, hey, we need an offensive-minded coach. We need an offensive coordinator to develop these players. Are you telling me that Tom Brady, it was Josh McDaniels that developed Tom Brady and Jim Moore developed Peyton Manning and Marty Schottenheimer developed Drew Brees and C.J. Stroud is being developed because of his offensive coach? No, these quarterbacks come in there and make their offensive coach and their head coach looks good. C.J. Stroud, a rookie, went in there and took over a team that went 7-26 the last 2 years, and they're in the playoffs. He's a special talent. These quarterbacks make your offensive coach and make everybody around you look good. It's not the other way around.
I mean, good point, Sal. Listen, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, those guys are, once in a lifetime type quarterbacks. But you mentioned it earlier, Pat and J Mac. I mean, C.J. Stroud has gone to Houston, and Bobby Slowick, who I know he was he was in Washington with all the great coordinators, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, the infamous, all the great coordinators in Washington. But nobody knew who Bobby Slowick really was, even though some Bears fans know his dad. But anyway, I digress. C.J. Stroud has gone into Houston and basically taken what was regarded as, despite the fact that the Bears had the number 1 pick last year, a lot of people thought that the Texans were one of the least talented rosters in the league entering this year. And DeMeco Ryans and C.J. Stroud have instantly turned it into a playoff team in their first year.
I think to his point, though, right, like, we want to talk about, did Josh McDaniels develop Tom Brady? Maybe not, but he probably helped him along the way.
Well, Belichick,
which is why
Drew Bledsoe as well. Drew Bledsoe was there to help in that development as well. And I get it. I understand what he's saying. You're going to have quarterbacks that's going to come into this league and understand the game. They're going to be able to pick up the speed of the game. They're going to be able to make plays right away because they have it. But if you don't hit on that quarterback, then the next thing is it's up to that coordinator and that quarterback coach to do his job and to help aid in the development of that quarterback so that way he can be successful like the quarterbacks that are surefire guys that come in here and just light the world on fire.
Well, and what I'll say is, right, Mac Jones looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when he was with Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels left, and Mac Jones looks like he's probably going to not have a job next season. Like, that to me is the situations you have to talk about where, yes, the special talents come in and you're just like, oh my God, like this guy's got it. I just got to tell him where something's going to go and it's going to be amazing. And then there's guys that, you do have to develop some of these guys. Yeah. And if you don't have the right situation in place, they don't develop.
It's fair. Bill's in New York. What's going on, Billy?
Hey, how you doing? I've been a big Justin Fields fan, supporter. The last couple of years, I've seen every single one of his games. Loved him. Was so excited about him coming into this year. But I think he regressed. I think this year was a disappointment. And the other thing I wanted to say is that my college team is USC, so I've probably seen half of Caleb Williams' games.
Mm-hmm. So not just the Notre Dame game.
I actually did not see that game, but I've seen the guy every game. The defense gives up 45 points and he puts up 55 himself. So it's like this guy is like a virtuoso quarterback, and can we afford to miss another Patrick Mahomes? That's what I'm worried about. Especially after the way Fields went backwards this year.
Yeah, I think, Bill, that's kind of one of my thoughts is this, I know a lot of Bears fans are scared about the idea of Justin Fields going somewhere else and becoming a great quarterback. I'm also scared about passing on Caleb Williams, and now you've passed Patrick Mahomes, C.J. Stroud, and do we have to add Caleb Williams to that list as well as Bears fans? Would suck.
If we're including Pat Mahomes, you also passed on Deshaun Watson.
Sure.
Deshaun Watson first. You passed on Deshaun first.
Everybody passed on Brock Purdy, I guess, if we're throwing all the quarterbacks that look good in there.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like guys who you clearly had a shot at.
Yeah.
Purdy's a little bit different because clearly that's been a development situation with Kyle Shanahan. So, he's not in the same class as a Watson, a Mahomes, and a C.J. Stroud, and we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what Caleb Williams turns into, and we may see it very close up, right here in the city.
Yeah.
It's on the table as a possibility. Let's take one more before we take a quick timeout. Let's try Owen, who's in Willowbrook. What's going on, Owen?
Hey, guys. The Bears didn't make the Panthers get off the field once. They didn't punt all day long.
Yeah.
And we can talk about their defense, how they turned the corner. And granted, they got that rusher in the middle of the year. but they don't get pressure on the quarterback. And until they can ever get pressure on the quarterback, their defense isn't going to beat the top teams. And the other thing is, I think what you have to do is you got to go out and get. I love to see the Bears go out and get Belichick. This guy wants to leave and go somewhere. And if he came to the Bears franchise, I think he'd be so refreshed, and he gets everything out of his players. Now, granted, he had an off year this year, and he's kind of struggled since Brady left. But that guy, but the Bears never want to pay a coach that kind of money. And if you're going to really turn this program around and get a new stadium, you got to invest in a coaching staff that really is going to get all you can out of your players. And the other thing I would really think the Bears would need to take a look at, I know we're talking about Fields, but I would love to see them get Harrison on the first pick, and then go out and get a veteran quarterback as a free agent, and then get a lineman that's going to protect. And then all of a sudden you got DJ Moore and Harrison. Yeah, who's going to stop that?
Well, you need a quarterback and an offensive coordinator to get those guys the ball.
Hey, I got it, Jeff.
I love Marvin Harrison.
I've got it figured out. We trade Justin Fields. We trade the first overall pick. We draft no quarterbacks.
Get a veteran quarterback.
No, we ride it out with Bajan. Let's develop it. That's where I'm at in the quarterback conversation. We got a long off season.
Cut his mic off, Jeff.
We got a long off season, boys.
What are you doing?
We're all getting silly.
We're just
J-Mac wants us to stop. We're going to break. We're all going to take a quick time out and post-game show on ESPN 1000.
The new home of the Chicago Bears.
Courtney Cronin checks in from Hallis Hall and beyond all week long on ESPN Chicago. Brought to you by Purple Wave Auction.
Hey friends, it's Tom Waddle, and I drive a Hawk. The New Year's sales event is going on all month at hawkauto.com. Choose from Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Subaru, Cadillac, Mazda, Volkswagen, and Nissan models, and a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles. Get New Year's savings with 0% financing for 60 months or make no payments for 90 days. Find your next car at hawkauto.com and drive what I drive. Drive a Hawk. hawkauto.com! On select models with approved credit.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam Abdallah. The NFL regular season is wrapping up, but there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. The app is safe and it's easy to use. There are so many ways to bet, like live same-game parlays. You can find bets in the new Explore tab, or you can make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays. And the best part about FanDuel is when you win, you get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/Abdallah, ABDALLA, to get signed up today. That's FanDuel.com/Abdallah, ABDALLA. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or over and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Creating more space for your family or updating your kitchen? Design First Builders is here to turn your vision into reality. As a custom design build firm, their team of experts seamlessly collaborates with you from the initial concept to the finishing touches. They handle every step of your remodeling project. Schedule your free consultation at designfirstbuilders.com or call 630-250-7777. Design First Builders believe in more than just starting projects. They believe in starting lasting relationships. Designfirstbuilders.com.
Feeling the need to be in the great outdoors, connecting with nature, being all zen-like? Let Chauncey be your guide. From hunting to hammocks, you are covered with Chauncey's Great Outdoors, Saturday mornings at 6 on ESPN Chicago.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc., New York, New York.
Hey, honey, how was your trip to Menards?
Awesome. The Menards bag sale is back.
What's the bag sale?
You grab a bag in store and save 15% on everything you can fit in the bag. I got a new cordless drill, LED bulbs to help with the electric bill, stocked up on toothpaste, always need batteries, and paint for the mudroom, plus all my favorite snacks. Where are you going?
Menards, we're out of cleaning supplies.
Hurry in! Grab a bag in store now through January 14th. Get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag. See store for complete details.
It's open enrollment for the ACA Health Insurance Marketplace. If you need health insurance, certified local navigators can help you enroll in a quality health plan, and you could qualify for financial help. GetCoveredIllinois.gov. Your health coverage starts here. Open enrollment ends January 15th.
Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Miller, and Pat the Designer on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
We are indeed your home of the Chicago Bears, rounding out our first full season as the home of the Chicago Bears, and we will be back at it again next year. But don't worry, we'll be talking Bears, leading you right up to next season for a lot of the time. I promise you. I'm Jeff Miller, along with Pat the Designer and Jason McKee, who's heading back from Lambeau Field. He was on the sidelines on the call of the game with Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer. And as the home of the Chicago Bears, we have the lucky privilege to have Ryan Poles join Jeff Joniak every pregame. And it was interesting. Ryan Poles had some thoughts that he shared, talked about how he's not letting social media determine what his plan should be in the offseason.
I think it was just yesterday I deleted Twitter, so I no longer look at that and won't until May. So I love our fans, but I'm taking very little advice from the bird, or it's not the bird anymore, it's the X. But yeah, just clear mind. Gonna have a clear mind, lean on the people I trust, and I have a lot of them, and we're gonna make good decisions. But I think it's important to really maintain the clear mind so you make sound decisions like we've done from the very beginning.
Another one, Ryan Poles talked about how it's been difficult with some of the historic losses and collapses the team has had this season.
It's hard to look back and see some of those games that you wish you had back and finished, especially the ones that you dominated early for three and a half quarters. But at the same time, I've learned from either playing the sport or being a part of it, by not finishing those games, there's a sign of, we weren't there yet. We weren't mature enough yet. We weren't executing at the right level yet. And it allowed us to sit down and look at our strengths and weaknesses and continue to improve and really focus on where we weren't ready for. So it's hard to look back at those. It's painful when you tally it all up. But at the same time, we needed to go through that as a football team to get better.
One more here from the Bears GM. We played for you Tracy Wolfson talking about her conversation with Kevin Warren, and it sounded like, if you listened and read the tea leaves there, that Kevin Warren, I think, is leaning in the direction of bringing Matt Eberflus back. And if you listen to Ryan Poles here, I think there are similar sentiments.
You can go back to the original press conference and things that I was looking for. One is leadership and the mental toughness and the steady hand to really captain the ship when the seas are rough. And they got rough at certain times. Certainly last year, early this year, there was some sudden change, and he was steady at the wheel. He fought, to get back above water and get things the way they were. His ability to adapt and adjust, really take input from the players to get this thing on the right path was incredible, where I think a lot of people would have been in really bad shape and crumbled to the pressure. He got better with the pressure, and so did our football team.
So there you go. I think they're tipping their hand just a little bit. I would be surprised if we find out that Matt Eberflus is not back next season. Now, we'll see. Does that mean a change with the offensive coordinator? I think that's certainly a possibility, because I think we've talked a lot about the frustrations with Luke Getsy and, how it's also affected Justin Fields as well. We'll see. We won't know. I don't think we'll have any clarity on Fields for at least 3 months. Like March is probably the earliest we would see any movement on what the Bears want to do with the draft pick and or Justin Fields. So I think we're going to be having this conversation, about who will be the Bears QB next season for a little while here.
Well, and I think Getsy may be a pretty. If he is going to go, he'd be a pretty quick cut, I would think.
Well, yeah,
right? Because
yes.
he would be one where it's like now you're heading towards the draft.
We would know by Tuesday or Wednesday, I would think.
You want to have the option available to say we're either keeping Justin Fields if a GM or if a OC feels like he can fix this guy, or we're moving on completely. Plus, you want to have your guy in place to help you pick some of these offensive players as you head into the draft. And he's been the name that, I mean, all year long, heck, like we finish out today's game with players talking about how his game plan has gone and how, you want to attack more downfield. Like
you here, before we bring J-Mac to also respond to Ryan Poles, you mentioned it, DJ Moore on some of the play calling yet again.
I think it's fine. Like I said, it just comes down to us being explosive on the offensive side. We got the players to do it. We got our quarterback to do it. Everything else we just need to call the plays that put us in position to have explosive down the field or catching runs like we did today. So we just got to be an explosive team and not a team that's just behind the sticks.
My God, listen, I think the play calling's fine, but it kind of wasn't. Like that's kind of what he just said there. J-Mac, when you hear that, like when I heard that, I was immediately like, oh, here we go again, another week. And this is what, the fourth or fifth week that we've heard the offensive play caller get called out. Like, does it kind of go to what you saw on the field today?
Yeah, I mean, you look at DJ Moore had, I think, 6 targets, right? The first game he had 2 targets, and I think those 2 targets came in the first half. I think he wasn't even targeted in the second half. And when you protect and give just in time, you see he hit an explosive play to DJ. And, I mean, if you have to find ways to get the ball to your best players. And, yes, I know we're missing some guys. Yes, I know the only other real weapon we have is Cole Kmet. When you gave just in time, he threw the ball downfield to Cole Kmet, right? Cole Kmet made a great catch in which he was able to bring in a tightly contested catch, take a hit, and put us in, good field position. But you got to call the plays to give your guys an opportunity to succeed, and that's something that's been in question this entire season.
He's Jason McKee. I'm Jeff Miller, along with Pat the Designer. Got about 15 minutes, so we're taking your calls. Let's try Marcus, who's in Minnesota. What's going on, Marcus?
What's good, Marcus?
What's up, guys?
What's going on with you, man?
Marcus.
Man, y'all caught me in the middle while I was eating.
You eating cheese curds, Marcus? Hope you're eating cheese curds, man.
Heck no, man. Heck no. Hey, man, I'm close to Wisconsin, so I really felt it today. But so my thing, I just want to make a couple points, and I'll get out you guys here. So to me personally, you guys said it already, I do not like the attitude of Eberflus. This doesn't say you're a good coach or not, but the way he approached the game, seeing it's just another game, and even the way he I feel like he doesn't back Fields enough when he's getting late hits. Like Teddy Bruschi called him out on a countdown earlier.
Yeah.
He said the coach should be more demonstrative. Like, hey, let the officials know, put them on blast. You can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah.
And to me, I just make 2 more quick points. So, are we really confident? Even if we get a better roster, are we really confident that Eberflus can outcoach a team when we get to the playoffs? Can he outcoach another coach once the competition gets better? Because they came unprepared today. And my last point is, if it was me, I'm not the GM, of course. I'm not getting paid anything. I would hire Harbaugh. I would sit Harbaugh down. Harbaugh, look at the tape. What did you see? Do you feel like a better offensive coordinator can get more out of Fields, or do you feel like we need to take the number 1 pick? That's what I would do. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Marcus. It's a fair question. Again, this is going to be a situation where, like we heard from Ryan Poles, we heard from Kevin Warren through Tracy Wolfson, played those for you multiple times today, and it does feel like they're comfortable with Matt Eberflus, and they saw some improvement. We all saw it firsthand. They were better at points in the second half of the season. Now the question is, was it enough? And we don't have enough of a body of work from Kevin Warren as the president here of the Bears to understand if these breadcrumbs he's leaving are done so with the intention so nobody's surprised when Matt Eberflus is brought back, or is he doing it but with the idea that, what's said publicly during the season doesn't necessarily need to match up once the season has concluded and Black Monday rolls around. That's something we're going to learn tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. We're going to, we'll have a better idea of what Kevin Warren truly means when he's saying something publicly after this week wraps up.
Yeah, I think it goes to both sides, right? Like you're getting to see kind of how this is the first offseason where we're going to really see how Ryan Poles does business, because these are the biggest decisions he's had to make since he's been here, right? Trading Roquan Smith was a big decision, but it was always kind of okay, we're blowing this thing up this season. We're moving on from players that are going to get us wins. We're going for the first overall pick. All right, boom. Now we're in this year. You've got a team that's winning. You've got a team that, like it or not, Bears fans, we did win 7 games. Is that underachieving? Sure. I agree with you on that. I think that we could have won more. But at the end of the day, it's not 3. You moved in the right direction. You got the first overall pick again. These are the teams that usually benefit most from having high draft capital, because with the first overall pick, now you're adding a player to a team that actually can go out there and have an offensive line, running game, wide receivers, defense that's kind of already built up for them. So now you kind of look at it and say, with Ryan Poles, all right, this is the biggest decision you're going to make with Justin Fields. Are you going to stick with him and build the team for him, or are you going to build up the team anyway and bring a new quarterback that allows you more financial flexibility to do that? This is the first year we're kind of going to find out what kind of GM Ryan Poles is going to be.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we've already seen glimpses of it last year with him trading away the pick, and we talk about it already, bringing DJ Moore and hitting on this draft class. But at the same time, he's going to make a, franchise-altering decision in terms of which direction he goes in. Is he keeping Fields? Is he drafting a quarterback at number 1? This is why they brought him in, because he's a young, energetic guy, but he's mature in his thinking, right? I'm getting rid of social media. I'm not going to let that influence me. This is going to be my pick. I'm going to have a clear mind when I make this pick, and it's going to be the best decision I can make for this organization to move forward and to be a consistent contender.
Well said, J-Mac. And one thing Marcus mentioned, he hit 3 points, so we didn't get to comment on it. Man, Justin Fields is the only quarterback in the NFL that does not get a roughing the passer call.
God,
I mean, that one actually sent him to the sidelines for concussion protocol. I mean, it's insane. And I will say, you would have thought at this point in the season, final game, that would have been a perfect time for Matt Eberflus just to have lost his damn mind. But, he was yelling a little bit, but yeah.
It's not enough for me. And I think that goes back to even the mindset of this.
The officials.
I was going to say, I think that even leads back to even the mindset of this, right, where going into this Packers game, it's just another game. No, I need you a little fire, just a little bit of fire, especially to protect one of your players that has not gotten a single call for roughing the passer all season. I'm sorry.
In a league where they can't wait to throw it, right, J-Mac?
Yeah, I mean, it is ridiculous. I think everybody on the sideline wanted a piece of the ref. I wanted a piece of the ref at that moment. But it's ridiculous. I mean, it's blatant. And the sad thing about it is the Packers defender, I can't remember his name, he got up flexing, like it was a great play. And I know back in the day, some of the offensive linemen that I played with, if he would have hit our quarterback like that and he was flexing, I guarantee you he would have been the next man on the ground, 100%.
Jonathan Owens, for those who are unaware.
Simone Biles' husband. I think I said that right.
312-332-3776. One more segment to go here on the post-game show, talking about the Bears and their season finale against the Packers right here on the home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN 1000.
ESPN Chicago. The Wolverines, the Huskies, both survived their semifinal classics on New Year's Day. But only one can be national champion. Michigan, Washington, the College Football Playoff National Championship, tomorrow night at 8 on ESPN Chicago. Bowl season brought to you by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
If you've been involved in an accident, yeah, you're going to have questions, you're going to have bills, and you're going to have medical issues. But you will also have me. I'm attorney Tony Ivoni. Visit me at calltony.com or call 708-400-0000. You don't have to struggle alone against the insurance company. I'm here to fight for you. Visit calltony.com or call me at 708-4-million, because you deserve better.
Your Bears Monday on ESPN Chicago can only end one way, with a bear. Miller Lite invites you to a live broadcast. Bears Night in Chicago. Tomorrow night from 6 to 8. Bears linebacker TJ Edwards joins Bleck and Abdallah at Fire Bar and Grill in Crystal Lake. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Fire Bar and Grill in Crystal Lake. TJ Edwards joins Bleck and Abdallah. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, it's Andy in Stone Country. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and services you need fast from the professional car people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. With another ski weekend upon us, we're seeing our better conditions, more trails, more of that cold snowmaking weather the ski areas rely on. And if you haven't been on the slopes for a couple of weeks, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Starting off at Alpine Valley, Wisconsin, 20 trails of machine group snow and day and night skiing. Granite Peak riding into the nighttime as well. They have 26 trails open. Devil's Head on 13 runs, nighttime terrain there as well. In Michigan, Crystal Mountain riding on 14 runs from 6 lifts. The Highlands now on 10 trails. Plan the perfect winter vacation at Crystal Mountain in northern Michigan. Save up to 25% on select hot lodging dates this winter. Plus, learn how kids 6 and under can sleep, ski, and eat breakfast for free. Book your next winter vacation at crystalmountain.com/hotdates. Get more ski conditions at snowcountry.com. I'm Andy Davis on ESPN 1000.
Long day. Time to charge up.
Hey, just like my delivery truck.
Even kids know to keep business moving forward, it's time to make the switch to electric vehicles. Whether you have one van or a whole fleet of trucks, resources are available to help you make the changes that make sense.
Let's go.
Beep, beep.
Go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
The Chicago RV Show is back. Friday, January 5th through Sunday the 7th at the Schaumburg Convention Center. Come see all the latest and greatest makes and models from the nation's top manufacturers. Register to win a Wolf Pup travel trailer. See the latest and greatest in motor homes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and B-vans. Saturday and Sunday, it's all at the Chicago RV Show. Friday, January 5th through Sunday the 7th at the Schaumburg Convention Center. Visit RVSupershows.com.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
I gave it my all, so whether it's here or not, I have no regrets. Shout out to you guys for making my job a little bit harder, but just the city of Chicago, love y'all, appreciate the fans and the support from all the Bears, in case this is my last rodeo with y'all, and just appreciate y'all for everything. So, yeah.
That was Justin Fields concluding his press conference today, and that is going to be, if that ends up being the last time he officially speaks to the Chicago media as a Chicago Bear, I think that's the one reason Bears fans have gotten truly behind Justin Fields, because he is a great guy, and he's a great leader. And if they do choose to draft a quarterback with the first overall pick and they trade Justin Fields away, he is a great guy to cheer for. I will absolutely be rooting for him if he does end up in a different city after this year.
I'll have a tough time, dude. I'm not
without
gonna
a doubt.
He's a good guy. J-Mac, talk some sense into Pat here.
He is.
No, listen.
He is.
I
He's
love
a great
Justin.
leader.
I love Justin, but I'm a Bears fan. Dude.
Listen,
you
the Bears
don't play
can win,
for my team.
The Bears can
I
win
don't-
the Super Bowl, and Justin Fields can still, do well.
I'll smile. I'll smile when I see him play a good game.
Well, you smile. I'm going to cheer. I'm going to root for him wherever he goes, because he has franchise leadership qualities,
Yes.
right? He's a guy who, when something goes wrong, he knows it's not his fault, but guess what? He's going to sit up there at that podium, and he's going to put the blame on himself. And that's the type of quarterback that guys rally around, guys want to play for, and guys will go to war and give all they can for that guy. You've heard it from DJ Moore. I heard it from today when I interviewed DeMarcus Walker as I left the field. You've heard it from every guy in that locker room saying that Justin Fields is their quarterback.
And that's why I want him here. That's why I want him here. I know it don't make sense.
Listen.
I know financially it don't make sense,
That's
but
why
I
I
want
let
him
him.
as my QB. I'm on that side. There's no flip-flopping for me.
That's why a lot of Bears fans want him here. We totally get it. It'll be an interesting offseason. As we wrap up our first season together as the post-game show, guys, I just want to say thank you so much. It has been a blast. Even though the season hasn't gone exactly the way we wanted, it was an honor and a privilege to work with you guys each and every Sunday after a Bears game. So thank you guys for having and making it so easy on me during the season here to do the post-game show with you, Jason McKee, and you, Pat the designer.
Man, I love it. I've had so much fun doing this.
I agree.
I appreciate everybody who supported us through this and appreciate everybody who supported the journey.
J-Mac,
I agree. You guys are awesome. I enjoyed doing the show with you guys. Great Bears fans out there. Thanks for supporting the show and all the calls. And I got to give a shout out to my guys, the Zerang brothers, who are responsible for me being on this call. They got an in-car studio set up, but they're also responsible for the call of the game on ESPN 1000 as well.
Beautiful. Thanks to Justin Pottinger and Kendra Smith as well. Talk to you again later.
App, your #1 destination for the home, has everything you need to start your New Year's resolutions. Explore their collection of smartwatches and fitness trackers. Whatever your goal, you'll be able to track your progress. Create the perfect home gym with their selection of treadmills